All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 1 John chapter 5, verse 1. What's happening with your Tavon? Shalom, Jay. Peace, Mika. Peace, brother, on my man. Left and right. We're going to hit on something, man. And we're going to hit on something, because I commented on a YouTube video the other day. I ain't going to call the dude's name out just because I think he on a different type of time. And I ain't really on the type of time that he on. But he was highly disrespectful and incorrigible. You know what I'm saying? It took me, you know what I'm saying? He went somewhere that the conversation didn't need to go. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the claims that he made and see if they are tangible. It's something that we've discussed before, but we're going to take a deeper dive. Then we have something also that I want to do Wednesday that we didn't get to, that we're going to get today, of more in depth on a particular statement that we say all the time. When I say we, I'm talking about most people in general. And what's that John 17:5, and that 1 John 5:21 is about the true Elohim. We kind of talked about it already. We want to go into it further. And of course, I think we have more stuff to talk about as it pertains to Isaac. What's happening with you, so? Come on, 1 John 5:1.
Whosoever believes that Yahushua HaMashiach is born of Elohim, and everyone that loved him, that begat, loved him also, that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments. For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
That's right.
Whatsoever is born of Elohim overcome the world.
Overcome the world.
This is the victory that overcome the world.
Even our faith. That's right.
Who is he that overcome the world? But he that believed that Yahushua is the son of Elohim.
That's right.
This is he that came by water and blood, Yahushua HaMashiach. Not by water only, but by water and blood.
Listen.
And it is the Ruach that bear witness.
Because the Ruach is what?
That is true.
Listen.
For there are three that bear record in Shamayim.
What are they?
The Abba, the Word, and the Ruach HaKadosh.
Shalom, my G. What we finna deal with in a moment pertains to what he's saying. He about to say right here, and a couple more other things. Continue. Let me pull up what this man said to me on top of that.
And there are three that bear witness in earth: the Ruach, the water, and the blood.
That's right.
And these three agree in one.
That's right.
If we receive the witness of men,
If we receive the witness of who?
Of men.
The witness
of Elohim
is what? That's right.
For this is the witness of Elohim.
What is it?
Which he hath testified of his son.
What he testified?
He that believe on the son of Elohim have the witness in himself.
That's right.
He that believe not Elohim have made him a liar, because he believed not the record that Elohim gave of his son.
Come on.
And this is the record that Elohim hath given to us, eternal life, and this life is in his son. He that have the son have life. He that have not the son of Elohim have not life.
Listen.
These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the son of Elohim, that you may know that you have eternal life.
That you might believe on the name of who?
The son of Elohim.
That you might have what?
Eternal life.
Come on.
And that you may believe on the name of the son of Elohim.
Come on.
And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hear us.
Listen.
If we know that he hears us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desired of him.
You have what?
The petitions that we desired of him.
And what else?
If any man
Shalom,
see brother sin a sin not unto death, he shall ask, and he shall give him life for him, for them that sin not unto death. There is a sin unto death. I do not say that he shall pray for it.
Listen.
All unrighteousness is sin, and there is a sin not unto death.
I know some.
We know that whosoever is born of Elohim sin not.
Sin not.
But he that is begotten of Elohim keep himself.
Keep himself.
And that wicked one touch him not.
Don't touch it.
We know that we are of Elohim, and the whole world lie in wickedness.
Lie in wickedness, baby.
We know that the son of Elohim is come and have given us an understanding.
That we may know him.
That is true.
That we are in him.
That is true.
Even.
In his son, Yahushua HaMashiach.
This.
True Elohim and eternal life.
Little children.
Keep yourselves from idols.
Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question, everybody. What does it mean to believe on the name of the Son of God? How do you quantify that? How is that explained? John 7:37. Let's begin there. Yes, Jamal. Hold on. Forgive me. If we don't get to talking about too many about idol gods this evening, as forth as how they're different from Yahuwah, just bear with me. But I will try to to implement the one piece of this conversation about idol gods and how Yahuwah is different from them, if the Lord permit. Come on with it, sir.
In the last day, that great of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let
if
him
any
come
man
unto
what?
Me. If any man thirst,
let him what?
Come unto me and drink.
And I shall.
He that believe on him, as the scriptures have
He
said.
that believe on him as what?
The scriptures have
as
said.
What?
The scriptures have
as
said.
What?
The scriptures have said.
Out of his belly
shall flow rivers of living water.
This spake he
of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive.
Because the Ruach HaKadosh
was not yet.
Because Yahushua was not yet
esteemed.
Now this is important. This is how you get eternal life. See, I heard some brothers going back and forth last night about the Ruach. They were talking about it was before Yahushua. We know that. But the brother had an understanding because he told these gentlemen it wasn't a permanent indwelling spirit at that particular time. Shalom, Brother Mark. When you receive the Ruach HaKadosh, now you got it. See, before you seen it jump on Saul, jump off. Of course, if you recall, it's only one person in this book, Old Testament-wise, who you seen the spirit fall on and it didn't come off. Really, two. We just don't talk about him a lot. And that's Moses and that's David. You know what I'm talking about? You see that falling on them and not coming off. Everybody else, you can see it come on them and go off them. Come on them and go off them. Those two witnesses in that regard are showing you the preface of a permanent indwelling spirit that would come later. Moses would factor in greatly into the conversation we're about to have. But let's continue. What I just had you read. Now go ahead and give me Hebrew chapter 8 and give me about, is it 8 that I desire? Tell me what 8 and 8 say. I think 8 and 8 gonna do it. Oh, that's the Dallas Cowboys right there. 8 and 8. Let me make sure. I don't got time to waste. Come on, give me Hebrews 8, man. Pick them up in verse 5. Let's roll with it.
Who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things.
Okay, that's what I want. Come on.
As Moses
Matter of fact, we ain't got time to wait. Come over Hebrew 10 and 1. I ain't got time to wait.
For the law having a shadow of good things to come, not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
Come on.
But then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have no more conscience of sins.
Come on.
But in those, a remembrance again of sins every year.
Come on.
For it's not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins.
Listen.
Wherefore, when he come into the world, he said, sacrifice and offerings you would not.
But what?
A body have you prepared.
And burnt offerings.
And sacrifices for sin you have had no pleasure.
Then said I,
lo, I come in the volume of the book.
Lo, I come in the what?
The volume of the book.
Lo, I come in the volume of the what?
Of the book.
Is what?
Written of me.
It's what of me?
Written of me.
Shalom, Brother Rob. What he told you in Job 16:19, my witness is where? In heaven. And my record is on where? On high. Which is taking us back to the 1 John 5 and 7 and 5 and 8. See, that ain't got nothing to do with no Trinity and all this other stuff that people want to argue about. This is dealing about 3 people separately, one in heaven, one in earth, bearing witness, because out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses will all matters be established. That's what that's about. That's what John is trying to get you to understand in 1 John chapter 5 when he get it from 4 to probably about 14. That this is dealing with the words of faith and believing on this man as he is bared witness to from Genesis to Malachi. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question. I know most of you know the answer to this question, so bear with me because this is based off the conversation that I had with this man who wanted to be a douchebag. How does one show that they're an apostle? Because this was the video that the man had. He was talking about Geno Jennings. I don't particularly care about anything that Geno Jennings got going on. Not because I got a problem with Geno Jennings, but because it ain't none of my business. You know what I'm talking about? But he's saying Geno Jennings is not an apostle. And he's saying there are no apostles in the earth. So now it's a lot of people who hold that position. I'm not ridiculing anyone for holding that position. I don't like the way this man came at me when it was unnecessary. And I told him that also. So how do you know that someone is an apostle? Do this for me, Civic. Revelation 2:1, let the Lord pay to you.
Unto the Malachim of the assembly of Ephesians, right? These things hath he that hold the 7 stars in his right hand, who walk in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, And you have tried them which say they are apostles,
and are
not,
but do.
and have found them liars.
Now, how can you try someone to see they're an apostle and find them a liar? How is that possible? Because if he's telling you that these people in this particular assembly in Ephesians did it, that means you should have the ability to do it. And if you have supposed to have the ability to do it, that means you're supposed to know how to recognize it. You understand that? You have to have the ability to know how to recognize one. The problem is that the majority of people don't know what it is to recognize one. See, man, at the end of the day, an apostle is a job title. Just like a prophet is a job title, pastor is a job title, minister is a job title, teacher is a job title, evangelist is a job title. The problem is that you have elevated men because of your worship of men and your desire to get up the cult of personality, that you don't see it for what it is. It is a job title. It is a job. It is a function. It is a duty in a particular vocation, which is the house of the living Elohim. That means they have a job to service the tabernacle of the living Elohim. Simple as that. It's no more to it than that. We just read the other week, he said, you unprofitable servants, doing what it is your duty to do. You don't have any value and you owe. That's what that means in Greek. So just because a man say he an apostle, you ain't supposed to put him on no pedestal because he say he won. That's your problem. That's you doing that. Stop doing it. At the same token, it's a lot of men, they got their nuts crossed because they mad that they may not be these particular positions. And then, of course, you have men who are greatly unlearned, who just say things. You say a profession according to the Hebrew. Oh, no, not on this one here. No, high priest is different. High priest is different. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Moon. So, according, how are you? Read that Revelation 2 and 3. We done talked about it plenty of times. This is important.
And have borne and have patience, and for my name's sake have labored and have not fainted.
Come on.
Nevertheless, I have against you because you have left your first love.
No. You reading something I ain't asked you to read. I said to read 2 and 2 or 2 and 3.
I just read 3.
Well, then you need to read verse 2. You in Revelation 2? Mm-hmm. You ain't just read that.
I did. I read 2.
I'm talking about what you just read.
You said 2 and 3. I read 3.
I'm talking about I thought with a verse in what you just read, what we talking about, not the next. And look at you co-signing. You know, you ain't got to. You supposed to keep your mouth closed. This ain't none of your business. This ain't none of your business. You on the clock? No, you're not. I feel you. I'm gonna fight for my man.
I'm just a witness.
You ain't got the witness. You're gonna witness these, and then this, and then these. Yeah, right in your behind. Oh, you say what? My bad. Come on.
Say, I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, and have tried them which say they are apostles
and are
not.
Now, how do you know how to try the man? What is an apostle? How do you know how to try him? Meaning the test. Read me 1 John 4 and 1.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know you the Ruach of Elohim. Every spirit that confess that Yahushua has come in the flesh is of Elohim. Every spirit that confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach has come in the flesh is not of Elohim.
So this is how how are you supposed to test them? Listen what he say. How can you test somebody to see if they're an apostle if you don't even know how you qualify to be one? That means you wouldn't be able to test them. Go ahead.
And this is that of anti-Mashiach, whereof you have heard that it should come. And even now already it is in the world. You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you
than he that is in the
world.
Come on.
They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world.
That's what they do.
The world hear them.
The world hear them.
We are of Elohim. He that know Elohim hear us.
That's right.
He that is not of Elohim hear not us.
That's right.
Hereby know we the Ruach of truth and the Ruach of error.
Now pause, because nobody gave me an answer. Let's come over here to Galatians chapter 2. Let's deal with that. Let's start with that first. Because before we even talk about anything, Galatians 1, I'm sorry. Before we talk about anything definition-wise, I want you to see it function. You need to understand what the function is. You did? Galatians chapter 1. I need to see what verse I want. You could pick it up at verse 6 on the high.
I marvel that you are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Hamashiach unto another gospel.
Pause. To other good news. Now this is going to take us back to the garden. Y'all should know that. Continue.
Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you.
There be some that what?
That trouble you.
Tell them what trouble means. Let me look at this here. Well, we ain't read that part yet, so I can't do that yet. Come on. Tell them what trouble means.
To wrestle, to agitate, to trouble.
To wrestle, to agitate, to what?
To trouble.
Now come over and read Genesis 3:1. Let's look what the serpent did. Let's see if he came to trouble this woman.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, Elohim have said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
See, right then and there, he coming to trouble her. And he's coming to bring another gospel, different from the one that she received. Again, the good brother, I know he made mention this, saying the same thing we were talking about the other day. Dudes need to defend their wife. He supposed to put his foot down and told the serpent no. But that's not how it worked with the word of God, man. I know that don't sound good. And really, I believe it's an underlying thought process of dudes who want to save their mama from the bad decisions that she made in her life, that they watched her make. But boy, you can't save nobody from bad decisions, man. I don't care who it is, not your mama, not your daddy, not your wife, not your husband, not your sons, not your daughters. You can't save nobody from bad decisions. The only thing you can do is offer sound counsel, but it's up to them on what decision they're going to make. And truth be told, if you've been shown better and taught better and you don't do better, baby, that's all on you. Can't nobody come save you from being stupid. I told you that before, man, that's a major, major handicap by saying that this woman needs somebody to jump in to stop her from making bad decisions. Baby, you're not going to be there to stop her all the time. You're not going to be there. She got to know how to make a sound decision on her own. That's why we were talking about free will and what that means. It's not free will. She had a choice. Now look what she did. And I'm telling you this here for all us, man, because when you have the good news, then you're supposed to know what to do. She knew what to do. But in this instance, when he troubled her, what ended up getting in trouble? Her flesh. Desire has arose. Continue.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
That's right.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden,
Elohim
said, you shall not eat of it.
See, at that point, that's personal culpability and responsibility. This person is not ignorant. See, everybody gonna play games. He didn't say don't touch it. Man, miss me with all that stuff, my nigga. You niggas is too grown to see that this person gave instruction explicitly back on what they were supposed to do. They knew what they were supposed to do. Anything after that, that's personal accountability, culpability, and responsibility. There's no need to finger point. There's no need to say women or this. At the end of the day, what happens to her happens to every single solitary one of you. He said there is no temptation that is uncommon to man. Get it for him. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Give me verse 9. Make it 7. If I'm going too fast, just bear with me.
Neither be you idolaters, as some of them, as it is written.
Neither be you what?
Idolaters.
As it is
written.
What it says?
People sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
Now, why did they rise up to play? Because they said, we don't know what happened to this Moses. He taking a long time. Let's take a look at it. Exodus 32:1. Because we're supposed to be talking about how to keep yourselves from idols. So let's see one of the key points to get you caught up in idols. This is how people get caught up in it. Exodus 32:1. Listen what it says.
When the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out
when
of
they
the
seen
mountain,
he what?
Delayed to come down out of the mountain.
Man, tell them what delayed mean, man. You know what it mean in English. Let's see what it mean in the Iberine, man. He delayed.
That's boosh, to put to shame, to be ashamed, to be disconcerted, to be disappointed.
They got disappointed. Why were they disappointed? Because he was taking too long.
Or to delay, to be long.
To be long. He taking too long. Exodus 32:1.
And when people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mountain, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him,
what they said?
Up, make us gods, which shall go before us.
Up, make us what?
Make us gods, which shall go before us. For this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land.
We don't know what happened to him.
And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters.
So that's good. And of course, you know, go ahead, read the rest, because I need to hear that part. Go ahead.
And bring unto me And all the people brake off golden earrings which were in their ears and brought unto Aaron. And he received at their hand and fashioned it with a graven tool after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, these your gods, O Yasharal, which brought you up out of the land.
Now, what they had done is they had done what they saw in Egypt. They fashioned something and say, see, this bull is who brought us up out of here. This calf. Well, what does this calf represent in ancient mythology? No, we talk about Baal, but the Egyptians did not worship Baal. So they may have not had interaction with Baal. I think we talked about that God the other day. We definitely did, because that's an Egyptian deity. Dang, which one it was. I can't remember. It was Hathor. That was Hathor. That was the cow goddess. They had took something and fashioned it after Hathor. You know what I'm talking about? I know we talk about Baal being the bull, but it wasn't a bull, it was a golden calf. So they made a deity after Hathor, which we know that's the deity that was destroyed with the boils. That's what they did. And then they said that was Yahuwah. They put his name on it. This is how you can see idolatrous gods with Yahuwah's name on it. So the standard of looking in the text and then looking in history and seeing Yahuwah's name on an idolatrous god, you can see where that could come from. Seeing that, this person, Asherah is his consort, when you already know who Asherah's consort was and where that come from, whether it be the story of Marduk or how it get changed, you can see how that happens, because the people will take their God and put it on these idols. That don't mean that God is that idol. That means that's what man did. I'm trying to set up for the other point that I want to deal with. I'm trying to work a lot in a short period of time. Come on with it. Come on back to where you was at. Exodus 32. You read what I wanted? Come over here to, I drop my page. Come over here to Luke 12, man. Come over here to Luke 12 and 41. Because see, this is what's going to happen. What happened to the people when Moses came down from the mount? He got 3,000 Levites on his side, boy, and they went to swinging swords. That's what happened. Now listen what the man say in Luke chapter 12, verse 41.
Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speak you this parable unto us, or even to all?
Listen what he said.
The Lord said, who then is that faithful and wise steward?
Who is that? Who?
Faithful and wise
That's
steward.
why he said, who on Yahuwah's side? And the Levites came over there. Listen.
Whom his Lord shall make ruler over his household, to
Listen.
give portion of meat in due season.
Come on.
Baruch is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find so doing.
Come on.
The truth I say unto you,
what you say?
That he'll make him ruler over all that he had.
But listen to the hard part.
But and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord, delay is coming.
My Lord do what?
Delay is coming.
Ain't that's what your forefather did? And begin to do what?
To beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and to drink and to be drunken.
To eat, to drink, and be drunken. Ain't that's what they did? They ate, drank, and play. Hold on, Mom Stephen said ancient Egypt. Thank you. The bull god was Apis. See, that's a different god. Remember, they made a golden calf. So that's as stated. So my memory was correct. That was Hathor they made. Shalom, Brother Shaul. Because they didn't make a bull. We talk about that bull at Wall Street, but that's representative of Baal, which could be representative of Apis. But remember, they didn't make a bull. They made a calf. They made a cow. And you know what the cow represents? Fertility and nourishment. That's what they seen Yahuwah as. And that's what they made. And the only interaction that they would have had with a deity of that type would have been Hathor. You have to remember where they're coming from. They're coming out of Egypt. That's where they've been at. They've been dealing with the gods of Egypt for 435 years. Remember what Yahushua son of Nun say. Matter of fact, get it for him. Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 24, man. Give me verse 9. And you see how they got caught up with idols? What is a key component to keep yourself from an idol? Just because the Lord delayed his coming, you don't need to eat, drink, and rise up to play. You don't need to think, oh, God ain't came back yet, so you can mess around and be a fool. No, that ain't what that means. Come on, sir.
Then Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Yasharal and sent and called Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam, therefore he baruched you still, so I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over Jordan and came unto Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Come on.
Now I delivered them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you.
Listen to
the Amorites.
Listen what he's going to say.
Not with your sword, nor with your bow. And I've given you a land for which you did not labor.
You didn't do what for it?
Did not labor.
Back it up. Read the verse before that.
Saying I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you.
Guess what? You didn't save yourself. And you got nigga telling you you're going to deliver yourself from captivity. You a lie before God. Because if your forefathers didn't save themselves from Egypt, what make you think you finna do it now? Go ahead.
The 2 kings of the Amorites, not with your sword, nor with your bow.
Not with your what?
Your sword.
Nor with your
bow.
Okay.
And I've given you a land for which you did not labor.
I'm giving you, why you think he said by grace you were saved? It is not a work of your own. Your forefathers were saved out of Egypt to get a land that you didn't do nothing for. You got houses that you didn't build, vineyards that you didn't plant, and wells that you didn't dig. It's a gift to God by faith. It's not a work. There wasn't no law they kept to get that, man. Where you think these concepts that they write in these letters, where you think they get them from? Come on, man. But these people too stupid. See, let me tell y'all something. I told you this before when I was talking. See, these Christians are talking about faith in Jesus, faith in Yahushua, we believe, but they don't. Because when you go in, let's go in this book and examine the faith so you can understand it as it is written, then they tell you that's not necessary and that don't mean that. Then the Israelites will tell you we keep the law and we believe, and you don't do either. Because you don't believe the word and you ain't keeping the law. So how is the people going to be saved out of that? Go ahead, man.
I've given you a land for which you did not labor, cities which you built not, and you dwell in them, of the vineyards and olive yards which you planted not, do you eat. Now therefore fear Yahuwah and serve him in sincerity and truth.
Serve him in what?
Sincerity and in truth.
Tell him what sincerity means, man. You ain't got to tell him. I already tell him. Tamaim, in perfection, in perfect amath, in perfect faithfulness, in complete faithfulness, and faithfulness with integrity. Can you do that? He didn't say serve them. He didn't say serve Yahuwah with no law. Why you think the man come back round, man, in John chapter 4 and say your Elohim is a Ruach and those that worship him must worship him in Ruach and in truth? Because the book already told you that, man. He already told you that. But nobody want to talk about that. They want to tell you Ruach and truth is the law and the faith. Nah, man, that's having perfect integrity, my G. You know what I'm talking about? Faithfulness. Complete faithfulness. Man, you can't get that from no instructions. Shalom, Sister Kelly. You can't do that, man. Come on now.
Therefore fear Yahuwah and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood.
Put away the gods that your fathers did what?
Served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt.
And in where?
And in Egypt.
So he telling you all them gods that your forefathers served before he flooded the earth, put them away, and them gods you was fooling with in Egypt, leave them alone too. So now you can see why they would make that golden calf, and that would be Hathor. That's all they knew. Do you not understand that your forefathers did not know Yahuwah in Egypt? Stop letting these stupid people who teaching us tell you that they knew some. Why, if they knew Yahuwah, why would Moses say, what I'm going to tell them when they say who sent me? They're not going to believe me. Why would he say that if they knew who he was? Are we that doggone stupid? And you had a nerve to talk about a Christian. My God, today. Come on back to 1 Corinthians 10, man. You got to pay attention to that, man. The people didn't know God, man. How could they know him? They said there arose, after Joseph died, there rose up a Pharaoh who didn't know Joseph. So if there was a Pharaoh who didn't know Joseph, don't you think there were Israelites that didn't know him either? Who was keeping the customs alive? Nobody. Go ahead, man.
Verse 7.
1 Corinthians 10 is that.
Say, neither be you idolaters as some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
They ate and drank and rose up to play.
Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed and fell in one day 320,000. Neither let us tempt Hamashiach, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur you, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
Listen.
Wherefore let him that think he stand take heed lest he fall.
He said, man, if you think you stand, you better take heed what happened to your forefathers, lest you fall flat on your face and go to hell. See, one thing I noticed in this generation, I've said it several times, these people think they're more righteous than people who came before them. But you wasn't even raised in them. You didn't even see this man work. None of us saw this man split no Red Sea. We didn't see them plagues, man. You wasn't there when Yahushua, son of Nun, asked this man to let the sun stand still. You didn't see them fiery serpents divide. You ain't seen none of that. And you know what's funny to me? People say they won't believe in Mashiach because they ain't see none of it. Yet you believe the witness of Moses and you ain't see that either. You have to believe that what was written in there happened. You didn't see it. Oh my God. Come on, man.
There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
There is no temptation taking you such that is common to man. Listen.
But Elohim is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
Shalom, brother Mark.
Be able to bear.
Listen, he gave Eve a way to escape because she stated the word. He didn't give her a temptation above what she could take. He made an escape. He made an escape. The escape was the word. It ain't that deep. Just like the sign is the word, your escape is the word. That's why he say resist the devil and he will flee from you. You have to resist him. How you going to resist him? By saying, no, devil, get away from me. Nah, you got to resist him by standing on the word, man. But you can't be thinking you better than other people while you doing that. And when I'm talking about other people, I'm not just talking about the people in your present dispensation of time. I'm talking about anybody, period. If your forefathers went in the wilderness and tried you, who are like, can he give us flesh to eat? What make you think you better than them? You flesh and blood just like them. You common the subject to like passions just like them. How you better than them? You a man or a woman just like them. How you think you better than Eve? What make you different than her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you ought to sit down and shut your mouth. Because before you've been and ran your mouth or spoke some foul things in your heart, and Yahuwah put you in a situation and put you to test and you be brought to shame. Because you running your mouth thinking you this and you that. And he'll show you just a wicked bastard. A faithless, unbelieving bastard. And when I say bastard, I mean that you refuse the chastisement of God. Therefore, he can't consider you to be a son. You understand what I'm telling you? Come on with Jeremiah 16 and 12. Oh, my, put it out. Man, you got to keep it real with yourself, G. These niggas be tripping out here, blood. I ain't gonna lie to you. Come on.
And you have done worse than your fathers, for behold, you walk everyone after the imagination of his evil heart.
After the imagination of his evil heart.
They may not hearken unto me.
That you won't listen.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, you nor your fathers. There shall you serve other gods
that you don't know.
Where I will not show you favor.
And you won't get no favor. And you wonder why you don't get no favor everywhere you go. And you wonder why. Come on back to Luke 12, man. Verse 45.
But, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delay is coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and to drink and to be drunken.
The Lord of that servant
will come in a day when he look not for,
and at an hour
he is not aware.
And he will cut him and appoint him
as portion with the unbelievers.
With the who?
Unbelievers.
What you think happened to them people in Exodus 32? They got appointed their portion with the unbelievers because they say, our Lord taking too long, man. Let's eat, drink, and play. Let's eat, drink, and play. Come on back to Galatians. Let me read to y'all what this man said, what I told this man, because we about to read it, right? I just told this man, an apostle is one who is taught the testimony of Yahushua from Genesis to Malachi, from Elohim himself, and not man. This man told me he must be taught Christ through next level suffering, as mentioned in 1 Corinthians 4. So you know what we about to do, Sylvia. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 4. Then he says, he must do more than teach from the scriptures. God humbled the apostles with a brand new revelation of Christ, so he humbled them with great tribulation. Peace, Yadda. Can't read that nowhere. This man said they got to do more than teach from the scriptures. What more do you need? Do you understand how asinine that is, man? That's their number one job. Man, read me Romans 10 and 14 real quick. He said, everyone agrees that an apostle must be taught by Christ. That's why I didn't mention it in the video. And then I told him I'm referring specifically to the testimony in the volume of the book. And for what I have seen personally, I have seen a minute amount of people who can actually do that. Because truth be told, I can count on one hand the amount of men who I can see, who I've seen that can do that proficiently. I haven't seen many. And I'm not saying that because of me. I'm just saying that's what I have observed. I don't know what y'all have observed. You know what I'm saying? So you can speak to what you have observed. I can only speak from what I have observed. You know what I'm talking about? Then he mentions Matthew 6:18. He said there can only be 12 apostles and no more. Nowhere does it say that. Have any of you read where it said it can only be 12? Because I've never seen that personally. Which is symbolic of the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 gates of New Jerusalem, with the names of the sons of Jacob, the 12 walls as the foundation. Anything more than that is an addition from men. So then Paul would have to be an addition from men. Barnabas would have to be an addition from men. Because if Yahushua said you have tried those who are apostles and found them liars, that means you could try one and found one not to be. Would that be accurate? Because it can't be just all this way if you find them to be liars. If you tested him and he was true, then what else would you be able to say he was? Let me ask you another question. What is the name of the man who was chosen to take Judas's place? And with that man, when he was chosen, how many men were with him out of what he was chosen from? Y'all looking crazy at me. Y'all supposed to be sharper than that. I know some of y'all can't get to your phones and whatnot in a rapid matter. Don't matter, because we're going to read it. We're going to read it. Because this is what nigga don't realize. Judas was one of the 12. Judas was not there when that man resurrected from the dead. You know why? Because he was dead. Nisha said it. Gloria said it. Matthias. But where the rest of the answer at, though? Where they at, though? Ain't that what that white man said on that newscast? You don't know what I'm talking about. What I told you to go.
Romans.
Come on, Romans 10:14, man.
Say how
I got 1 Corinthians 4. Come on.
Say how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
Mm-hmm.
And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard?
They go, little Johnny got it.
And how shall they hear without a preacher?
And how shall they preach?
Except they be sent.
Except they be what?
Sent.
How beautiful.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of shalom and bring glad tidings of good things.
Y'all know that's Isaiah 52:7. Little Johnny hit the nail on the head. It was 120 men out there with him. We'll read Acts 1 in a moment. I am in 1 Corinthians chapter 4. I am in verse 1. He say, let a man so account of us as the ministers of a Mashiach and stewards of the mysteries of Elohim. Now, tell him what mysteries is. And tell him what a steward is. See, some people, boy, they be pissing me off.
Mysteries is mysterion on a hidden thing, a secret, a mystery.
Now, y'all know he revealed his secrets unto the prophets. Now, we also know from Romans 16:25 that this thing was kept secret since the world began, but is now made manifest through the scriptures of the prophets for the righteous obedience of faith. We also know in Luke 24:44 and Luke 24:45 that he sat down and taught these men that the whole book was about him. Guess who wasn't there when that happened? Matthias. He wasn't there. So that means those other 119 men that was out there with him, they could have been named apostles also. You know what I'm talking about? But let me continue. Moreover, it's required of stewards to be found what? Faithful. So this takes us back to what we read in Yahushua Son of Nun, chapter 24. And this also shows you that an apostle has to be a faithful individual to Yahuwah. But let's continue. Be with me a very small thing that it be judged of you, or of man's judgment. Yea, I judge not my own self, for I know nothing by myself. Yet I am not hereby justified, but he that judged me is the Lord. Therefore judge nothing before the time until the Lord come, who will both bring to light the hidden things of darkness and will make manifest the counsels of the heart. Then shall every man have praise of Elohim. That's why you'll never judge nothing before time, man. God gonna show it. Just sit back and wait. And these things, brethren, I have in figure transferred to myself and Apollos for your sakes, that you might learn in us not to think of above that which is written. Not one of you be puffed up for one against another. Now, Apollos is who? That's Barnabas. Barnabas is literally called an apostle in his book. Barnabas is not one of the 12. Come over here to the book of Acts. Let me find the verse I want. I think it's Acts 9 that I want. Come over here to Acts chapter 9 and pick me up in verse 25. Go ahead.
Then the disciples took him by night and let him down by the wall in a basket. And when Saul was coming to Jerusalem, he essayed to join himself to the disciples, but they were all afraid of him and believed not that he was a disciple. But Barnabas took him and brought him to the apostles and declared unto them how he had seen the Lord in the way, that he had spoken to him, and how he had preached boldly at Damascus in the name of Yahushua.
Go ahead.
And he was with them coming in and going out of Jerusalem. He spake boldly in the name of the Lord Yahushua and disputed against the Grecians, but they went about to slay him.
They went about to what?
To slay him. When the brethren knew, they brought him down to Caesarea and sent him forth to Tarshish. And then had the assemblies rest throughout all.
Good. Now, we just establishing when Barnabas come in, that Barnabas took him in and brought Paul to the apostles. Let me find the verse that I want. There it is. Acts 14. Pick it up at 12. Acts 14 and 12.
And they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercurius because he was the chief speaker. Then the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates.
We'll talk about Jupiter in a later. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me do it right now. Let me let you know who these guys is, who they call these men by. Just look at Jupiter.
Zeus.
Yes, that is Zeus. In the Greek, anyway. So listen, Jupiter was the chief Roman god of the sky and thunder. He is the king of the Roman gods. Jupiter was the patron deity of the Roman state, associated with law and order, kingship, treaties, alliances, and oaths. He was also the protector of Roman armies. His symbol were a lightning bolt, an eagle, and an oak tree. He was worshipped on the summit of hills throughout Italy. His oldest temple was on Capitoline Hill in Rome, which is why they call where the Capitol building is Capitol Hill to this day. Jupiter's parents were Saturn and Ops. His siblings were Vestas, Ceres, Juno, Pluto, and Neptune. His most famous child was Hercules, the result of his affair with Alcmene. Jupiter was closely associated with the Greek god Zeus. The Romans considered them to be the same deity with different names. Jupiter was also known as Jove. Let me make sure we ain't leaving that out. He was the chief deity of the Roman state religion throughout the Republican and imperial eras until Christianity became the dominant religion of the empire. In Roman mythology, he negotiates with Numa Populus, the second king of Rome, to establish principles of Roman religion, such as offering and sacrifice. I would show you this statue, but his wee out. They like to make statues of butt-naked men at that time. His equivalent in Albion is Zodes. In Canaan, it's Baal. In Etruscan, it is Tienia. In Hindu, it is Brishpati, Dios, and Peta. In Mesopotamia, it is Anu, Enlil, and Hadad. In Egypt, it is Ammon. Also in Mesopotamia, Solpe. And of course, in Greek, Zeus. He is thought to be originated as a sky god, identifying implemented the thunderbolt. His primary sacred animal is the eagle, which held precedence over other birds in the taking of auspices and became one of the common symbols of the Roman army. So, you know, everybody like to talk about that eagle, but it's really not talking about America. It's talking about Jupiter. You have to remember these people are idolaters first. Boom, boom, boom. The two emblems were often combined to represent God in the form of an eagle holding in its claw a thunderbolt. And what do you see the eagle holding? Arrows. And those arrows are probably representative of a thunderbolt. Frequently seen on Greek and Roman coins. As the sky god, he was a divine witness to oaths, the sacred trust on which justice and good government depend. Many of his functions were focused on Capitoline Hill, where the citadel was located, in the Capitoline Triad, which, of course, the Capitol building is made like a citadel. That's what that dome is. He was the central guardian of the state with Juno and Minerva. His sacred tree was the oak. The Romans regarded Jupiter as the equivalent of the Greek Zeus, and in Latin literature and Roman art, the myths and iconography of Zeus are adapted under the name Jupiter. In the Greek-influenced tradition, Jupiter was the brother of Neptune and Pluto, the Roman equivalents of Poseidon and Hades. Each presided over one of the three realms of the universe: the sky, the waters, and the underworld. The Despider was also a sky god who manifested himself in the daylight, usually identified with Jupiter. See, that's the disrespect of what they called this man. Now, Mercurius, which is basically Mercury. Mercury is the Roman god of commerce, messages. That's why they called him Mercury, because he was the chief speaker. Travelers, and trickery. He is associated with eloquence, boundaries, luck, and thieves. Mercury is often depicted with winged sandals and a winged cap, carrying a caduceus staff with two snakes wrapped around it. Now, that comes from Egypt. That comes from the Egyptian deity Dejute, or what's his other name? Dang, Mama Steph, we were just talking about his other name, because the Jute is the one that he's known for. But in the Greeks, they called him Hermes Trismegistus. I read a few of his books when I was in prison. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless. And it's about to say that. And he is commonly associated with the Greek god Hermes, who was the messenger of the gods and the mediator between the living and the dead. Thoth. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brother Joseph. Thoth is what he's commonly known to by most, but those who really into comedic sciences, they're going to call him the Jute. And that's right, and Tahuti as well. Absolutely. Same God. Same God. Mercury was the son of Jupiter and Maya are one of the 7 daughters of the Titan of Atlas. That means that the Romans in this Acts 14 saw Barnabas greater than Paul. Mercury's temple on Aventine Hill in Rome was dedicated in 495 BCE. The Mercurialia festival was held on May 15th to honor Mercury and Maya. The name Mercury is the origin of the name Wednesday in French and other Romance languages. In astrology, Mercury represents communication, intellect, and quick thinking. Of course, he's a major god of Roman religion and mythology, being one of the 12 deconsentes, which is the ancient Roman pantheon. He is the god of financial gain, commerce, eloquence, messages, and communication, including divination, travelers, boundaries, luck, trickery, and thieves. He also serves as a guide to souls to the underworld and the messenger of the gods. Now, this photograph, he naked, but his wee ain't out.
Greeks and Romans, nasty people.
Indeed. Now, for the Etruscans, his equivalent is terms. Again, with the Egyptians, it's Thoth or Anubis. With the Celtics, it is Lugus. And with the Greek, it is Hermes. In Roman mythology, he was the son of Maya, one of the 7 daughters of the Titan Atlas and Jupiter. In the earliest forms, he appeared to have been related to the Etruscan deity Terms. Both gods share characteristics with the Greek god Hermes. He is often depicted holding the caduceus in his left hand, similar to his Greek equivalent Hermes. He was awarded a magic wand by Apollo, which later turned into caduceus, the staff with the intertwined snakes. Now let's proceed. We just needed to make sure that from a historical standpoint, you know who that is and why they were calling them that and the things associated with them. Go ahead. We in
13.
Yeah, read 12 again. Matter of fact, read 11.
So when the people saw what Paul had done,
they just healed somebody.
They lifted up their voices, saying in the speech of Lycaonia,
the gods
come down to us in the likeness of men.
And they called Barnabas,
Jupiter,
and Paul,
Mercurius,
because
he was the chief.
Then the priest of Jupiter,
which was before their city,
brought oxen,
and garlands unto the gates,
and would have done
sacrifice with the people.
When the who,
when the apostles,
when the who,
apostles,
when the who,
apostles,
when the who,
apostles.
Who were the apostles here?
Barnabas and Paul heard. They rent their clothes and ran in among the people crying.
Now they just called them apostles here. These are not one of the 12. That means there's 14 of them. I'm sorry, I skipped over it. Say literally a person, special mission, diplomatic representative. Indeed. Trained by the one taught and sent in the mouth. And we're going to get to that in a scriptural, in a very complex matter. I ain't going to say complex. A more detailed matter than most people probably would discuss it. This ain't our first time discussing it. But some of you may have never heard it before. You know what I'm talking about? Now, it literally just called Paul and Barnabas an apostle. Literally. And it literally showed, we already read that Barnabas, hold on. Let me show you how Barnabas is referred to. Come on back over here. Come over here to Acts chapter 4, verse 35. Listen to it.
And laid down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And Joseph, by the apostle, was surnamed Barnabas.
Now, Joseph is his name, but they changed it to Barnabas. Listen.
Which is being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite of the country of Cyprus.
So this man was a Levite, and the apostles changed his name. Now listen, come over here to Acts 13:1 and listen how he is described.
For there were in the assembly that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas.
Certain prophets as what?
And teachers.
So he's classified as either a prophet or a teacher. This is literally what this book telling you. Then the next chapter, he's called an apostle. Now, for informational purposes, so that you know what an apostle is and what that pertains to. Because Amundan alluded to it. Now listen to it. In the Greek, the word apostle is apostolos. This is a delegate, a messenger sent forth with orders, specifically applied to the 12 apostles of Mashiach. Now, some of y'all have probably never wrote down stuff like, unless you went to college, how you got to section stuff off, you got a key point, and then you got sub points. So the number one point as an apostle is a delegate. Let me explain to you what a delegate is, just in case you may not be aware. This is not to insult anybody's intelligence. I know everybody don't necessarily know the definition of everything. I'm talking about, and we like to be laser specific. A delegate is a person sent or authorized to represent others in a particular elected representative sent to a conference. That is what is called when you have the primary elections. That person, those people who vote in those primary elections, they are called a delegate. That means they represent all the Democrats and or Republicans and or Libertarians and or Green Party members, because we just not going to mention the two parties that everybody knows. You know what I'm talking about? In those particular states, when they're selecting a candidate for president. See, y'all didn't get to see a primary this election cycle. You know what I'm saying? I think they might have had a Republican primary. You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
No, so they did because what you call him? The governor ran.
That's right. DeSantis ran, but he dropped out. The Republicans had a primary, and Trump won it. The Democrats didn't have a primary. But they didn't have a primary because they had an incumbent president. So you usually don't have a primary when you have an incumbent president. You know what I'm talking about? So what they did is that when they pulled Biden out the race, instead of having a primary, they just gave the nomination to who they wanted to give it to. Basically, the people who was giving all the money said this one. But that's not how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a primary, and the members of that party in each state are supposed to select who it is that they want to represent that particular political party. That's how that's supposed to go. Shalom, Sister Blue. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's why I told you. If you go back and look at the 2020 primary, Kamala got crashed. She didn't get a single solitary vote. She got crashed. And it came out that she wasn't likable to the Democratic electorate. This ain't got nothing to do with personal feeling. Do your research, look at it yourself. Some things you have to look at for what it is when a person is not likable or likable. Because when Trump won the Republican nomination in 2016, nobody believed that he would win. They didn't take him seriously as a candidate. The Republicans didn't take him seriously. The Democrats didn't take him seriously. Nobody believed that this man would win. Because he's run before and got crashed. You know what I'm talking about? He ran as a Democrat and got crashed. He ran as a Republican and got crashed. He ran as an independent and got crashed. Now, of course, if you don't really care about those type of things, then you're not going to be abreast of that type of information. But this man has ran and got crashed. So that's why nobody took him seriously. And that's how you lose elections. That's how you lose, period. That's how you get beat up, when you don't take your opponent seriously. You never underestimate anybody. That's how you get your teeth knocked out your throat. That's how you get embarrassed by somebody, when you underestimating what you think they know, and they know more than that. And now you look like a plumb dumb fool. Never, and I mean never, underestimate anyone at any time about anything. Don't do it. I'm trying to tell you, don't do it. If we're going to take this election, the previous one that just passed, at face value, like these are real things, that woman lost because the Democratic Party underestimated this man. They thought the people would hate him so much that they underestimated this man. That's why they lost. This is not necessarily indicative of the candidate. This is indicative of the people who running your campaign. You had imbeciles. You had imbeciles running your campaign. You're going to lose when you have the people who telling you what to do underestimating your opponent. You're going to lose. You're just going to lose. You can't throw $10 million at an entertainer and say that'll be enough. That's underestimating your opponent. You will lose. That's why that man say you better be on guard, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, looking to whom he may devour. Don't underestimate your opponent. That's why Peter told you that. Don't underestimate your opponent. Never underestimate your opponent, or you're going to be around here a loser, crying about this, that, there, and the third. No. That's your fault. That's your fault. Take your opponent seriously, and then if you lose, at least you went down properly. But when you underestimate your opponent, you deserve to lose. And you deserve everything that come with it. And I ain't talking about no goddamn political election either. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it. Where we at with it?
You don't want on the Barnabas stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be reading something else. I'm reading that definition. I'm sorry. Now, under that first one is specifically applied to the 12 disciples, apostles of Hamashiach. Then it's, in a broader sense, applied to other eminent Christian teachers. And then it mentions Barnabas, Timothy, and Silvanus. Now, y'all know who Timothy is. Let me share with you who Silvanus is. Come over here to 2 Corinthians chapter 1. Give me verse 15. Silvanus is a teacher in the synagogue or assembly in Thessalonica. Come on, 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 17.
When I therefore was thus minded, that I use lightness, or the things that I purpose, do I purpose according to the flesh, that with me there should be yea, and nay, nay. But as Elohim is true, our word toward you was not yea and nay, for the son of Elohim, Yahushua HaMashiach, who was preached among you by us, by me, and Silvanus and Timotheus, was not yea and nay, but in him was yea. For all the promises of Elohim in him, yea, and in him, amen.
That's good. Now you just seen that he said this was preached among us by Silvanus and Timothy. Now, this definition is ascribing this to men. What does eminent mean? Just in case, we want to be specific. And of course, eminent is a famous and respected within a particular sphere or profession. So, of course, apostle was also applied to people who were highly respected in a particular vocation. This is particularly Silvanus, Timothy, and Barnabas. But come on back to Galatians 1 and 6. I still hold 1 Corinthians chapter 4. I need to get Galatians out the way. I need to speed this up a bit. We're going to go through a lot of information in an hour, so I'm not displeased.
Say, I marvel that you are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Hamashiach unto another gospel.
Which is not another.
But there be some that trouble you.
Who would pervert
the gospel of Mashiach.
That's why we turned around and looked at what the serpent did in the garden. He was seeking to pervert. Continue.
But though we or Malachim from Shamahim
preach any other gospel
unto you than that which we have preached unto you,
let him be what?
Cursed.
That's why the serpent was accursed in the garden, because he came and preached another gospel. We talk about what cursing is. Tell him what accursed here is in the Greek. Well, that's to vilify. That's to speak evil on. That's for you to be lightly esteemed when you look at it in certain Hebrew words.
Anathema, that is a thing set up or laid by in order to be kept, a thing devoted to Elohim without hope of being redeemed.
This is something that cannot be redeemed.
Or a curse, a man accursed, devoted to the direst of wolves.
Just pause with this here. Man, if you're a curse, you can't be purchased. Ain't no God for you. There's no kinsman redeemer for you if you're accursed.
Excommunicated, a curse.
And again, excommunicated means you're cut off. So when you get a curse, what is a curse? Get it to him. Isaiah 59:1. This is what happens when you get a curse, man. That's why he say there shouldn't be blessing and cursing coming out of your mouth when man is in the similitude of Elohim and you cursing him. That's why we read that in James. That's why you're not supposed to do that.
Behold, Yahuwah's hand is not shortened that it cannot save,
nor is his ear
heavy that it cannot hear.
But what?
Your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim. Your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear.
That's why he say sin is a reproach to any people. Sin is what gets you accursed. And if you bring in a different gospel than the one that originated in heaven, that the Father, the Word, and the Ruach HaKadosh bear witness to and agree in one, boy, you going to hell, cuz. You going to hell. And this man let it be known. He telling this assembly in Galatia, hey, man, if somebody come bring another gospel, man, let them niggas go to hell. Let them be cut off from God is what he's saying. See, we'll sit back and say, oh, you can't say that. Paul let it be known, man. Somebody come bring another word, bro, man, let them niggas go to hell, man. Remember that's what Jeroboam was doing when he came with his own feast? This is what Absalom was doing? What you think the beast coming to do? He coming to bring another gospel, and he's seeking to pervert the gospel so he might trouble you. That's why you got to know the word, be up on your game. I ain't talking about knowing no word, to battle no doctrine, man. I ain't talking about the stuff these niggas arguing about every day. Man, the beast gonna get these jackasses, man. You understand what I'm telling you? While you arguing about can a woman wear some pants? While you arguing about can a woman do this? Can Gentiles be saved? A virgin birth? This man gonna come through with this understanding of dark sentences and run circles around you niggas, and you gonna be worshiping the devil. And don't even know it, and agree to do it too. And agree to do it with the book of Yahuwah in your hand and thinking you right. My God, today. And this nigga say preaching the witness that ain't nothing. You understand how stupid that sound? Let me read it. Man, look, I almost called this nigga a name. This man literally said he must do more than teach from the scripture. What more do you need? Do you understand when I tell y'all, man, when I say people don't want the word for real? Because the word is all you need. What more than you need than the word? I'm not talking about no laws, man. I'm talking about the word, man. Do you understand what it means to believe on his name? Do you understand? You know what it's understand to believe on his name? You know what I'm finna read. Exodus 34:6. This is what it means to believe on his name, man. If you believe on his Shem, on the power of his name, what's contained in his name? The book finna tell you. Matter of fact, let me not say the book. Yahuwah finna tell you. Come on.
And Yahuwah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuwah Elohim, merciful and
what?
And gracious.
Merciful and what?
Gracious.
Abundant.
Long suffering.
He's long suffering and abundant.
In goodness and truth.
And what?
Abundant in goodness and truth.
And what else?
Keeping mercy for thousands.
Keeping what?
Mercy for thousands. Forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin.
Hold on. So this is what it means to believe on his name. That you believe that this man is actually long-suffering, merciful, gracious, keep mercy, and is forgiving. That means you really believe that this man is a redeemer. This is the message that he sent the apostles with. Them going through suffering is a pattern of suffering that Mashiach is in them, which every believer got to go through. That's not subject to just the apostles. These niggas are idiots. Let me show you something else, man. Jeremiah 31:1 on the strength. After Jeremiah 31:1, we'll go to Hosea chapter 2, and you can give me verse 9. We can show you straight out the old what the gospel's supposed to entail. It's supposed to entail Yahuwah. That's why, we talk about Jeremiah 9 all the time. He said, let him esteem that he understand and know me, that I'm Yahuwah Elohim, that exercise righteousness, loving kindness, in judgment. These are the things that I take pleasure in. The weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. That's what he delights in. That's who he is. That's the message that he gave to the apostles and told them to preach. Preach me. Show them me. You show them him by who he is. Come on, man.
At the same time, saith Yahuwah, will I be the Elohim of all the families of Yasharal, they shall be my people. Thus saith Yahuwah, the people left of the sword found grace in the wilderness.
The people left of the what?
Of the sword.
They found what?
Grace in the wilderness.
They found what?
Grace in the wilderness.
What else?
Yasharal, when I went to cause them to rest, Yahuwah have prepared of old in me, saying,
what did he say to you of old?
Yea, I have loved you with an everlasting love.
With a what love?
Everlasting
with
love.
a what love?
Everlasting love.
My God, today.
Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn you.
He said, with what he gonna draw you?
With loving kindness have I drawn you.
With the law.
With loving kindness.
With your nationality.
With loving kindness.
With pride.
With loving kindness.
Boy, if these boys ain't showing the loving kindness of God, man, they don't work for him. Give me Hosea 13 and 14 before we read Hosea 2 and 9. Here go the loving kindness right here. As a matter of fact, after you read Hosea 13 and 14, give me John 11 and 24 on the house.
I'll ransom them from the power of the grave.
I will do what?
Ransom them from the power of the grave.
And what else?
I'll redeem them from death.
He's going to remember, that's a Gaal, that's a kinsman redeemer from death. Don't you see that that's the mercy and the grace, the long suffering, the goodness and truth that he's abundant in, and the forgiveness? Because that's Daniel 9, that I'll make an end of sins and finish the transgression to anoint the most Kadash and to bring into everlasting righteousness. Come on, man. That's the good news, man. Do you understand? How is it not good news if in Adam we all die? And you're in a state that you cannot deliver yourself from, according to Ecclesiastes. There's no discharge in this battle. And you're in this battle because of sin. And now somebody come through and is testified that he gonna make an end of sins and finish the transgression. So you can be what? Reconciled. You can only be reconciled when you have a redeemer, a kinsman redeemer, according to your law. That's how you reconcile the debt. Ain't that's what your law say? Ain't that's what Jubilee is about? And when does Jubilee take place, Civic? On atonement. The day when the high priest go in to make an offering for himself and then for the sins of the people. But these niggas don't know this. See, this is not the issue. Making it look like, oh, it's just us. The issue is that we have so many men who claim to represent this man, and they do not possess the necessary information that we can receive the Ruach HaKodesh and live forever. Listen to what I'm telling you. Every one of us, whether you preach or not, Paul didn't go sat back and hear Barnabas preach, just like they could go hear Peter preach. Because they know they all going to be manifesting the same thing, different parts of it here and there, like Paul mentioned in 1 Corinthians 14, so everybody can be edified. Man, in 2024, can we really say that we getting the witness of God, that we can understand the faith of God and be drawn with loving kindness and righteousness? Can we really say that that's an abundance, man? And when I say an abundance, I mean abundance in all the platforms that majority of our people frequent. Shalom, East, man. That's what I mean. Because like I've said before, because see, Buddy sized me, and because I told him, man, Buddy had a nerve to say, you've been coming on this channel to get taught. Whoa. Like, whoa. Slow down, brother. I say, brother, I come on your channel because it's entertainment. Because you're not teaching nothing. Let me tell you something, man. You can't teach no word when you're making videos talking about other people, saying you're using them as an example. That's not teaching. Nowhere in this book did anybody teach like that. Okay, you think he a false prophet? You're not preaching the word when you focused on exposing this person. That's not teaching, blood. You know what I'm saying? You teaching when you have people whose souls you're responsible for and you're ministering to them. That is teaching. You getting on Clubhouse, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and just talking for the sake of talking, but you're not responsible for anybody. You ain't no teacher. You just a nigga running your mouth. Every time Yahuwah had a man and gave him the word, that man was responsible for other people's souls. You just can't be clicking some stuff on and be like, oh, he's a teacher. A teacher of who? And don't give me that your first ministry is supposed to be at your house. You shut your mouth. That man ain't never said that. Your first ministry is to Yahuwah, jackass. And then he gives people under your steed. Your wife and your kids don't count. Your wife and your kids don't count. Because they already your responsibility. The law already tell you in Deuteronomy you're supposed to teach your sons these things. So no, that don't count. No, I'm talking about you work for this man. You in debt to this man. He's your inheritance. Your job is to minister to his tabernacle. If he ain't gave you nobody to minister to, you don't work for him. This is what the book say. But ain't nobody going to examine that. You know why? Because nobody don't really want to work for him. They just want to be seen. They just want to be known. Who cares? This nigga came at me and say, you on my platform, go get your own platform. I said, bro, I got one. Oh, he said, oh, so you made a separate YouTube account? Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this is what this man literally said to me. I'm not making this up. And he got disrespectful. So I guess you created a separate account to come and be entertained. This guy. I'm not the one who's being condescending. What you did was either foolishness, a lie, or both. I'm like, what? And this is what I told him. I said, why would I be interacting with you on the Assembly of the Firstborn page? The Assembly of the Firstborn is not me. The Assembly of the Firstborn is a collective of individuals. You know what I'm talking about? That's not me. Nigga, that's my real name on that YouTube page, cuz. I'm like, I'm not a content creator. I'm a preacher. I don't have to hide behind no something to appear to be super holy and super righteous or super godly to you cornball niggas. I don't have to do that. I am who I am. Just like that man said that what it is means what you see is what you get, cuz I am who I ain't got a front for you niggas. Who is you niggas, man? I'm not trying to impress you niggas, man. That's why I hate these niggas on the internet, man. These niggas is fake and they flawed. Like, boy, in another space and another time, nigga hit you in the mouth with a sledgehammer, cuz. Knock all your grill out. He say, for God is not. Indeed. And notice that. Get that for me, man. Dare just do that on there, man. That's Hebrews 6 and 9. Let me make sure that's the right passage. Yeah, dare do that. Come on, 6 and 9. Come on with it.
But beloved, we are persuaded better things of you and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. For Elohim, not unrighteous to forget your work and labor.
He said he's not unrighteous to forget your labor of love.
Which you have showed toward his name.
Showed towards his who?
His name.
And what else?
And that you have ministered to the saints.
And do?
Minister.
That means he said you serve the Kadash ones. To be a preacher and teacher of the word is to literally be a servant to other people. These niggas don't want to be served. They want to be served. You know what I'm talking about? And they want to be seen. So they don't understand what that looked like. You understand what I'm saying? See, because Buddy really offended me because he was talking greasy. This man literally said as a made man. This is what this man said to me. Oh, I don't know. Because there's certain stuff, man, when I know you talking greasy and you being disrespectful and you being condescending, you know what I'm saying? I can peep that and it agitates me. Because I don't like it. He said, I would think someone who's 15 years in, a made man, would be above such foolishness if you were here to be entertained. At least you would have some platform where you're putting in work for Christ. Even the thought of foolishness is sin. This is not a game. I pray Yah has mercy on you, for you know not what you do. Now listen, right? He just called himself a fool, if you're paying attention. Because if I say I'm being entertained by your videos, and your videos you're supposed to be teaching, and you called your videos foolishness. This is what he said. Because he didn't want to deal with the fact of what an apostle is and what an apostle does. Because he didn't want to deal with that. He had a dissenting point of view, and he wanted to angrily focus on, let me say something about this here, because I told him, I didn't say I was a made man, you did. I mentioned I've been in the word 15 years saying what I've seen. How many of y'all have run across dudes who can preach this man to you? Because I don't know that many. And it's disturbing, because it should be more that we know. I know it's more, we just don't know them. And it doesn't matter if we know them in the literal sense, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's grinding and putting in that work for Elohim. But most people feel like, see, you can always tell the disrespect when he say, where your platform in, who said anything about that? See, that's the tough I take as disrespect. That let me know you don't work for the Lord for real. Because somebody who worked for the Lord wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say that, well, I'm doing this, what you doing? That's a whole nigga move, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what busters do. Ain't no man gonna say that, because he would know if I'm grinding, then I'm grinding. What you doing ain't got no bearing on what I'm doing. Okay, you being entertained? Okay, cool. What type of person say, oh man, you came here to be taught? Man, I wouldn't say nothing to nobody who commented on the video and they was like, they disagreed. Well, you the one coming around here to be taught. What kind of comment is that? I'm mentioning this here because do you think that is exemplary of the spirit of Mashiach? It's not. Oh man, and Mama Steph said a platform is free, and I left 4 of them. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. Or are you upset because what you thought was supposed to be some educational and what's the word I'm looking for? Edifying material is really just entertainment because you're not saying anything of substance? Most people don't have anything. Most people are not of substance because they haven't learned themselves well enough to have some substance. Most people are superficial. And when you push and say, let's go further beneath the surface, they can't go. That's why a lot of people have been offended in us over the last 12 years. And when I say us, I'm talking about some of y'all that done took the things that Yahuwah has allowed us to be able to learn and know and share them with other people. And you went beneath the surface and they ridiculed you and they mocked you and they told you was crazy and didn't want to talk to you or want to have some level of contention or strife. Any one of you young men who have done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And and I know your initial inkling was shock and amazement, like, damn, what's wrong with these niggas? Because you went under the ground. They just want to stay in the grass, man. They don't want you to put a shovel to that soil and dig and let's see what's up under there. No. Put that dirt. I don't want you to see that. John 11:24. What you got up? You over there farting? Doo-doo boo. He caught you farting? No. She told on herself. Get some shine. I can shut you out for you right now. I can shut.
Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
That's right.
And whosoever live and believe in me shall never die. Believe you this?
Never die. You believe that? Hosea 2:9. Let me finish this Galatians 1 while he going over there. This is Galatians 1:10. For I do not persuade men or Elohim. Do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of a Mashiach. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. For you have heard of my conduct in times past in the Yahudim's religion, how that I beyond measure I persecuted the house of Elohim and wasted it, and profited in the Yahudim's religion above many of my equals in my own nation, being more exceedingly zealous for the traditions of my fathers. For when it pleased Elohim, who separated me from my mother's womb and called by his grace to reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. A prophet doesn't confer with flesh and blood, nor does an apostle. The difference with a prophet is a prophet ain't got no word. When I say got no word, I'm talking about sitting down and manifesting the testimony. A prophet bear witness to the word of Yahuwah, the things that are surely to come to pass. That's what a prophet do. Two different jobs. He appeared to a prophet by vision or a dream. He ain't say nothing about that apostle. He revealed himself to a person who was an apostle. And that means that man did not get that. Remember, Paul said, I was taught by Gamaliel in the perfect manner of the law. Nobody taught Paul Genesis to Malachi testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. The Lord did. The same way that Apollos from Alexandria, who nothing but the baptism of John, sat down with them people in that synagogue and showed them scriptures from the scriptures that Yahushua was the anointed one. That man showed apostleship. God gave him that. Remember what he told Peter? He said, man, he said, who do men say that I am? He said, you the Hamashiach. He said, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed this to you, but my Abba which is in heaven. That is what makes a man an apostle. Flesh and blood don't give it to you. God do. It ain't got nothing to do with no suffering or none of that there. God give it to you. And he gives you the whole thing, not bits and pieces. He give you the whole. When I say the whole thing, we talking about the testimony, man. The testimony, man. See, read me 1 Corinthians 13:1. This is why Paul make that statement. But even with the testimony, you still got to have the love of God in you, though. Listen to what he said.
Though I speak the tongues of men and of Malachim and have not charity.
That man say, even if I can speak the languages of angels or speak the languages of men, if I don't have love, what he say?
I'm become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
I'm just running my mouth. I ain't making no noise. Come on.
And though I have prophecy and understand all mysteries.
He say, even if I can prophesy and understand all the secrets.
And all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
Nothing. So even if you got all that information, if you ain't got the love of God, that information is worthless. It's worthless. And I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, boy, it don't take no energy to love nobody, man. It don't cost you nothing. It take more energy not to love than it do to love. I'm telling you that right now. Regardless of what these niggas want to tell you, it take more energy not to love than it do to show love, man. It don't cost you nothing to show love, man. Not nothing. You got to go out your way not to do that. You have to take a conscious thought not to do that. Most niggas ain't got love in them. They got a lot of precepts though. A lot of precepts. Come on, man. Jose, 2 and 9. Let's run. I want to get to my thesis. I'm gonna be able to interject my thesis or what I want to interject in here.
Say, therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will cover my wool and my flax to cover her nakedness.
Come on.
Now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of my hand.
And I will cause all her
mirth to cease,
her feast days,
her new moons,
her Shabbats,
and all her solemn feasts.
I will destroy her vines,
and her fig trees,
where she has said,
these my rewards that my lovers have given me.
I will make them
a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them.
Listen.
And I'll visit upon her the day of Balaam, where she burned incense to them. And she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers and forgot me, saith Yahuwah.
Pause. Now I want you to understand, when he telling you he gonna cause the mirth to cease, the feast, the new moons, the Shabbats, all these type of things, he wasn't telling you that you was gonna stop doing it. He telling you that he was finna destroy Ephraim. He was finna destroy Israel and cause all that to stop because you forgot me for another man. Because you was around here talking about, look at what my side man gave me, my side piece gave me, and forgot your husband. So he looking at some of these things that you want to use to celebrate me. You think I'm finna let you celebrate me and you laid up with another dude? You do realize these Shabbats and these feast days is to celebrate your husband. You do know that, right? And you think this man gonna let you play in his face and do all that? No, man. What do you mean? What? The tongues of angels. Oh, baby, can't nobody tell you that. They got their own language in heaven, baby. No, she just said, what are the tongues of angels? And I'm telling her that that's not something that any of us can speak on because that's an unknown tongue unto men. They have a language in heaven that men don't speak. That's why you don't know that verse, but yeah, they got a language that we don't speak. That's mutually exclusive to them. Yeah, that's what that is. I thought she was interrupting for something else. Oh no. Yeah, they got a language in heaven, baby. The angels in heaven don't necessarily speak the languages that men speak. And nobody knows what that language is. Most people will try to speculate what that language is because men like to make up stuff. But that's a language that you would only know is if you had the opportunity to ascend in the third heaven and dwell with the Almighty Elohim. So yeah, that's not something I can't give you an answer for that because there is no answer to give because you would have to come in contact with that. This is for those of you who do know. This is what Paul meant when he said you speak in a tongue and you speak into God and then just do that in your own heart. Because I heard dudes arguing about that because you got dudes who think Hebrew is the language in heaven. That's how stupid these people is. But they be like, well, Yahushua spoke to Stephen in Hebrew and spoke to Paul in Hebrew. Of course, why would he speak to them in a heavenly tongue? They're not going to understand it. You think the Almighty Elohim communicating with each other with English words? My God, today. Paul said they wouldn't even utter those things. Yeah, indeed. Get that for him, man, since I mentioned it. 1 Corinthians 14, man. Pick me up at 22.
And wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not.
Come on.
Prophesying serve not for them that believe not, but for them which believe.
Notice, right? He say tongues ain't for believers, they for unbelievers. And you had dudes say you ain't got the Holy Ghost if you ain't speaking in tongues. Or you're not an apostle, because you understand that the reason why those apostles had signs following them because nobody believed at that time. Y'all do know that, right? You do know that them coming with signs was doing the same thing that was in Exodus chapter. Hold on, man. Is we saying too much, sir? We ain't saying enough. Let me go ahead since I'm saying it. Read that verse 22 again since I'm saying it. Let me show it to you out the law, man. Make it plain, man. Let Yahuwah be a speaker.
So wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe.
Not to them that what?
That believe.
But to who?
Them that believe not.
Them that believe what?
Believe not.
Come on, give me Exodus chapter 3, man. I mentioned this earlier. Praise Yahuwah. That means we get to run this back. Give thanks to Elohim for some understanding, man. Because in all you're getting, get some understanding. 3 and 11. Exodus chapter 3, verse 11.
And Moses said unto Elohim, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Yasharal out of Egypt?
And he said,
certainly I will be with you.
And this shall
be a token unto you that I have sent you. You have brought
that I've what?
That I have sent.
That I've what?
Sent you.
So this man is a messenger of Yahuwah. Now we talked about this before. Moses is a sign of an apostle. Moses was taught by Elohim and sent by Elohim. Just like Adam was taught by Elohim and sent by Elohim. Ain't no man taught Adam. What man sat down and taught Adam in the way of Yahuwah? Not now. Wait, no man sit down and teach Moses in the way of Yahuwah. And these men were sent specifically. Remember what Malachi 2 and 7 say? He is the messenger of Yahuwah of hosts. The people should seek the law at his mouth. That's why he say, whosoever receive whomsoever I send. Which is why Amuna put in there about an apostle being, this is somebody who sent. A pastor is not sent. He's not sent per se. He's taught by somebody who was sent. So remember, when Mashiach is resurrected from the dead, the people rejected him. So the apostles are being sent to preach a word that nobody believed because they did not know him. Does that not sound literally what happened when you came out of Egypt, man? Listen, man, continue.
So when you have brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve Elohim upon this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Moses said unto Elohim, behold, when I come unto the children of Yasharal, shall say unto them, the Elohim of your fathers have sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto
Now, how these people serving this man in Egypt and they ain't know his name? Go ahead, man.
And Elohim said unto Moses, I am that I am.
And he said,
thus shall you say unto the children of Yasharal,
I am have sent me unto you.
And Elohim said moreover unto Moses, thus shall you say unto the children of Yasharal, you are Elohim of your father.
The Elohim,
of Abraham,
the Elohim,
of Isaac,
the Elohim,
of Jacob, have sent me unto you.
This,
my name forever, and this my memorial unto all generations.
Now listen, man, he's sitting here telling you that he's son. Now listen, Moses is coming in chapter 4 and saying, read verse 1, that these people not going to believe me.
Moses answered and said, but behold, they would not believe.
You see, that's why they had to get out in the wilderness. Yeah, and on top of that too, right? Remember, Moses being sent with a word these people never heard. Because how can you hear without a preacher? How can you call on him whom you have not heard? They couldn't call on you who they never heard of it. How can you believe without a preacher? And how can they preach except they be what? Sent. He sent this man so they could believe. But he sent signs with Moses also. Because when you're dealing with a group of people who don't believe, you need to send signs with it to confirm it. Ain't no need to send nobody with no signs in 2024. You got the word. Signs is for an adulterous generation. That's for a generation that don't believe. That's what the man told you. He said the Yahudim seek after a sign and the Greeks seek after wisdom, and ain't none of them getting God. You want a sign because you don't believe. That's why niggas say, ain't no apostles out here. Where the signs at? Because you don't believe. So you need to see a sign so you can say, okay, the word true. Y'all don't really be picking up what these people be putting down, man. When niggas talking about signs all the time, it's because they don't believe. The word is not enough for them. That's why the Lord said in that parable in Luke 16, he said, man, if we resurrect from the dead, they'll believe it. He said, man, if they ain't going to believe Moses and the prophets, they ain't going to believe you because you rose from the dead, man. That sign of a dead nigga knocking on the door and say, don't go to hell. I'm telling you, I just left there. It ain't going to do nothing for them if they don't believe the word. Let me read that to you. You stay where you at, good sir. Let me read that to you. Yeah, it ain't going to matter. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Especially these niggas on Clubhouse. Hell, a lot of these niggas on YouTube. You know what these niggas like to do? Hell, a lot of these niggas in the streets. Shoot, why stop there? Come over here to Luke 16 and 25. Man, a lot of these people snatch the joy of you who are straight from people every day with their folly and their nonsense. Their debates, their arguments, their banal and ridiculous conversations and debates and everything else that's attached with it. Just snatch the joy right out the word, man. Man, if you around people who's supposed to be in the word, man, and you feel drained from being in their presence, man, God ain't with them. That man's supposed to fill you up with the abundance of his spirit, not leave you depleted. That's not God. You got to go. God ain't here. Remember what he said, man, shoot. He said, we got to go, man. The love of God ain't here. Remember what Abraham said, man? He said, I told you that was my sister because I didn't think the fear of God was in this place. Luke 16 and 25. Abraham said, son, remember you in your lifetime received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted and you are tormented. And besides all this, between us and you, there's a great gulf fixed, so that which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then he said, I pray you, therefore, Father, that you would send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. He said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. He said unto them, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. Come on now. He said, I'm not going to lie. Some of these dudes are twice as wicked as a politician or celebrity in my eyes. My God, today. You see how serious that is, man? That man say, man, if they ain't going to hear the word, man, they ain't going to be persuaded because somebody rolled from the dead. Because that would be a sign. If you ain't believe the word, that sign ain't going to make you believe it either. Now that you got the word of faith out here, ain't no need for no signs and wonders, man. That's why the beast coming with signs and wonders to get you. You're supposed to know signs and wonders are for those who don't believe. Those who believe, they know the word. Remember, he said prophesying is for those who believe. Those who believe on the word, they don't want no sign. So when somebody tell you preaching ain't enough, he just told you, I don't believe the word. That's what the man said. I read it to you. That's what he said. You go look on the video. That's what he said. I ain't making it up. Amen, Brother Marvin. I ain't making that up, man. I ain't saying that to disrespect this man, because I want to say I was agitated. I was irritated. I was irritated because we just having a conversation and it went left. I don't know if he thought I was shooting at him by mentioning, because I was really just speaking to direct experience. This is conversations that some of us done had a few times over the years. Like, well, it's not a lot of people out here preaching the gospel, cuz. It's just not. And that can be disheartening for a lot of people. Let's not act like it's not. But I've told you plenty of time, man, the word ain't enough. I done had people who used to be around here shooting shots. Some people get together 3 times a week, sit around, hear the word 2, 3 hours. Nigga talk like that, he don't want no word. Because Paul then was up there all night. You niggas want to clap hands and grab each other's Johnsons and look at each other's face. Talking about we doing the work, we building houses and land. Shut your stupid behind up, you lying bastard. Yes, Kalisha. Back then, shoot, it was more people who didn't believe in Yahusha than did, and it's probably the same now. It might be less men now who believe in the Lord than back then, or equal. I definitely don't think it's greater. I definitely don't think it's greater. Not based off the things that everybody on here argue and go back and forth about. Ain't no way. That's I've been in this thing for 15 years. And when I started coming across other people, quote unquote, Israelite, man, probably about 2012, 2013, these people still arguing the same things. Still arguing about when a day starts. Arguing about when to keep the Sabbath. Who got the right feast day? Virgin birth. Is he God? All these things don't gender to the salvation and the sanctification of faith, which is in this man. So it's certain things that y'all, I take that back because sometimes my mind go to thinking about when y'all was 21 and 22 and y'all not 21 and 22. You know what I'm saying? At this particular point, most of you are mature enough to where you can hear in somebody's conversation like, oh yeah, cuz don't believe for real. That don't mean you say something to him, point him out, or ridicule him. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm going to be honest with you, Amuna, most of them wasn't Christians, though. Because I agree. A lot of them didn't believe as Christians. Because I know this because you're looking at it from your perspective of being in the word at a young age. Most of these people who in that's not their testimony. I wasn't never in no word. I ain't never been to church a day in my life. So there wasn't nothing for me to believe because I was never a Christian. I've never been to a Sunday service. I've never been to a watch service. I've never been to any of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, I ain't go to church on Easter. And I know a lot of brothers who did. And most of these niggas who was in the word, they ain't got your testimony of being in the church and serving in the church. They don't have none of that. Most of them niggas just talking or they showed up every now and then. See, that don't really count. A nigga showing up on a Sunday to make himself feel better because his grandma made him go or his mama made him go, that don't really count. Like I told you, when I was selling dope, niggas used to be like, oh, we ain't serving today. It's the Lord's day. That's just cap. So you in a different segment of people who was actually in there. Because some of these brothers who were in the word, they were actually in there. But the massive majority of the people you come across, I'm telling you right now, baby, them niggas were living life. They were living life. They just be flogging like they mad with the church. They wasn't in there. They wasn't in there. I promise you they wasn't in there. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have a thought process that you had because your whole life was dedicated to that. But I promise you, I'd say about 3/4 of these niggas never been in the church. And I'm being generous with 3/4 because it's probably 5, 6 to 7, 8. Ain't never been in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's not where they were at. They didn't have they just called themselves a Christian because that's just what niggas do. My homeboy called himself a Christian. That man ain't go to church. His mama went to church. This nigga was with me selling crack. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga ain't never think about going to church nan day. Not an Easter service, not a Christmas service. We ain't, man, on them days, we was smoking weed, selling crack. That's what we were doing. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I never thought a day in my life to go to church. I mean that. I'm talking about it has never been a day in my adult life that I ever thought, let me go to somebody's church on Sunday. Go there for what? I'm not exaggerating. You know what I'm talking about? Say going to church didn't teach only Wednesday Bible studies when you learn young. She said, I never went. I ain't never think about going to I ain't never ride past a church. But I think I need to go in there one day. Never. Not one time. I ain't saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just telling you, it never crossed my mind. Going here for what? I'm finna go out here and do exactly what I want to do when I leave from here, man. So if I'm not finna dedicate myself wholly to this, what am I going in here for? That's just how my mind works. The day I decided that I was going to sell narcotics, I was like, I'm all in on that. Because I got to be all in. It's either death, or prison in what I'm doing. So why am I half step for, man? And when a big homie said, man, if you ain't out here to get no money, what you out here for? Now, he wasn't saying that because the nigga was shooing around. He was laying it flat. He was putting it on the floor with all of it, man. Like, boy, if you ain't out here to get some money, boy, what you out here for? When he said that, that made me hustle 10 times harder. I said, well, shoot, I ain't getting enough money then. Because Big Cuz say, boy, y'all niggas out here playing. That's what I heard. Y'all out here playing. You need to get you some money. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you ain't getting no money, you in the way. You finna risk your life and you ain't getting no money? That's what I heard. That might have not been what he was communicating. It might have been what he was communicating. That's what I heard from what he said. Go get, man, you need to hustle hard, man. Go get you some money because you out here playing. And I was young in the game. You know what I'm saying? I was at that point where I'm buying 10 rocks and I'm nervous to have more dope. Because I ain't had this much dope before. Once he said that, well, shoot, nigga, give me 40 of them then. We gonna work our way up, get an ounce, go to whipping it up myself then. Let's get the money then. Because you're going to jail either way. Whether you buying 5 or you buying a brick, you going to jail either way. The only difference is how much time you get when they catch you. So if you're dealing with the word, you either going to go to Shamayim or you going to hell. And that's up to you. It's going to be determined by how hard you willing to grind. You know what I'm saying? What you willing to do. How committed and dedicated you are to the game. See, it's not just about how many precepts you, man, this your life, man. How committed are you to this, man? You hungry like a werewolf of London or you out here playing? A lot of these niggas out here playing. I ain't gonna lie to you. They playing. I'm talking about they playing like they did when they was in the bathroom when they was 12, looking at daddy magazines. That's what they doing. They out here playing. You're screwing yourself. And that don't end well. You know what happens when you screw yourself? You come out the bathroom looking stupid with shame. Because you know what you did wasn't right. You know what I'm talking about? You're looking around the corner hoping somebody don't catch you. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the Chris Rock bit. He know when you talking about that, you can't even be comfortable because you wondering if somebody gonna come in. What you in there doing, Charles? You know what I'm talking about? What you in there doing? And when you get caught, you know what you look up with? Shame. And that's what you're gonna be looking around playing with the word, man. You're screwing yourself. You're gonna pop up one day and you're gonna look up with shame. But that shame gonna have you in a place where you don't want to be, where the worm dies not and the fire shall not be quenched. Now, why would you want to go out like that? That man say, why would you die, O house of Yasharal? He said, I take no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, so turn yourselves and live. That's what the man said. Come on, what I got you hold on?
Read Hosea 2.
Yeah. No. 4 and 1. Exodus. I need to finish that. Listen.
And Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, Yahuwah have not appeared unto you.
He said they won't hearken unto my voice because they'll say what?
Yahuwah have not appeared unto you.
They going to say, boy, God ain't with you, boy. That's good. Then he tell them to do certain things. Now drop down to verse 27, see what happened. Listen.
Yahuwah said to Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went and met him in the Mount of Elohim and kissed him.
Moses told Aaron
all the words of Yahuwah who had sent him and all the signs which he had commanded him.
Mm-hmm.
Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yasharal.
And Aaron
spake all the words which Yahuwah had spoken unto Moses.
And did.
The signs in the sight of the people.
And did.
The signs in the sight of the
and
people.
The people believed.
And when they heard that Yahuwah had visited the children of Yasharal, and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped.
He had to work the signs because the people had never heard the word. They didn't believe. Matthew 28. We got 1 Corinthians 4 and Hosea 2 on deck. Now, whether you realize it or not, this is going to lead to the underlying thing that I've been wanting to talk about for 2 days, and we ain't got there yet. But y'all willing, we finna get there in just a minute. I need you to hit me with Matthew chapter 28. Oh, no, that's not the one. It might be Mark. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I was toggling it. It's Mark 16, I'm sorry. Mark 16 and you can pick it up at 11. I toggled in my mind to mention this dude's name. Because since I told him we had a platform and I told him what the name of the platform was, because I know individuals like him, they'll skim through the catalog trying to see this, that, there, and the third. Because I'm like, if Buddy want to dance, just this one time, we can do the salsa. We can do contemporary. We can dance however you want, wherever you want, whenever you want. And I'm going to crash your whole skull in. You know what I'm talking about? And not for the sake of a prideful victory thing, but because you played the wrong game at the wrong time, running your mouth. And your mouth need to be stopped. You know what I'm talking about? And I told Derek that earlier, because he happened to call me. I said, if I do it, I'm going to create a whole nother channel just to do that on. I ain't going to do it on here because that's not what this channel for. You know what I'm saying? This channel not for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you come on, you want to go on your channel, I'll battle you over there. You want to come, we can do whatever you want. Because I know the type of dude he is. He going to want to skim through what you're preaching and try to chop it up. But you, like this, there's a difference. You dealing with somebody who content creator. Gino on a whole, this dude literally said, man, that if you get baptized, you putting your faith in the pastor and not God. I said, that's got to be the dumbest thing I ever heard. How you believing in the pastor when you getting immersed in Yahushua's name? To be immersed in the likeness of his death, to be raised in the likeness of his resurrection, to walk in newness of life. These niggas are idiots. And I mean that sincerely from Florida with love. You're an idiot. Come on, man. Mark 16 and 11.
And they, when they had heard that he was alive and had been seen of her, believed not.
Come on.
After that, he appeared in another form unto two of them as they walked and went into the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they went and told unto the residue, neither believed they then.
Mm-hmm.
Afterward, he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat and upbraided them with their unbelief and hardness of heart.
Because
they believed not them which had seen him after he was
and he said unto them,
go you into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
He that believe
and is baptized shall be saved.
He that believe not
shall be damned.
Now, how can you say that preaching the word ain't enough? And he said, if you don't believe, you're going to be damned. Listen what he say. And these signs
shall follow them that believe.
In my name
shall they cast out devils.
They shall speak with new tongues. And they shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, they shall not hurt them. And they shall lay hands on the sick. And they shall recover. Remember what Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 12. He say, are all apostles? Are all prophets? Do all work miracles? Because I remember some of y'all done asked about that before. Just because you had a spirit don't mean you're going to work a miracle. That's not how this works. Some people can do multiple things of the gifts of the spirit, and some people can only do one. Now, is it about who can do all different things, or is it about the body of Mashiach being edified and your Father in heaven being esteemed through the witness of his Son? See, these niggas don't care about God getting no praise. These niggas is fake. You understand what I'm telling you? To use Mama Steph's word, it's all a facade. It's all a facade. This is for show. This is a game with these niggas, man. This is a game. These men done took this word because these old funny-headed white folks done gave you platforms that you can monetize and get paid for sticking your funky face on it. These men done took this man's word and prostituted it for pay. And tried to, hell, in the clubhouse, they ain't even getting paid. They doing it for free. Trying to draw away followers to take more people to hell. That's what these niggas out here doing. Come over here to 1 Corinthians 14 and 22 one more time. See, the difference between me and most is I'll say something. See, I was talking to some brother the other day, and they were like, man, just chill. I say, bro, I'm not upset. I say the difference between me and you is that y'all will see stuff and you don't say nothing. I'm going to say something. I'm not going to let a dude think what he doing is cool. Like, nah, bro, you not finna talk to me like that. You might have got away with that with the other 20 or 30 people who you did that to, and they were cool. I'm not cool with it, G. You not finna handle me like that, cuz. Nah. And I'm finna stop right here and let you know, bro, don't disrespect me like that. Don't insult my intelligence like that. Don't play with me like that. Don't tempt me like that. What is you doing, blood? I'm not on that. And when you do that, people think, oh, he's emotional. He's being contentious. No, you niggas just used to pussies. And you know what I mean by that? I'm talking about a coward, someone who is afraid of conflict and confrontation. Because this man will do or say something you don't like, and you'll wait till he leave and then say something about it. Or say something about it to somebody else. You're not a man, you a buster. You can't call yourself a man if you won't say it to that man right then if you didn't like it. And what I mean by that is, just because you say something that you didn't like, it don't mean that it's a problem. You just let it be. No, look here, man. I grew up with my niggas like, hey, bro, I ain't like that, bro, because the nigga we love each other. So he don't want to be walking around with no underlying resentment. You saying somebody, hey, I don't appreciate that. That don't mean that it's supposed to be a fight. That don't mean I'm disrespecting you. And I hate to use this term because it's overused, but people just don't understand that some people have boundaries. They not with that. You're not finna talk condescending to me, cuz. You're not finna do that with me. You might could do that with them 32 dudes over there, but you're not finna do that with me, blood. I'm not on that. You know why? Because I don't talk to you like that. And I didn't talk to you like that. So I'm not going to let you talk to me like that. It's the same token. I'm not finna let no woman disrespect me verbally. You know why? Because I don't disrespect her verbally. See, I'm not going, what I mean by that is, there's some women out here, I know none of y'all like this here, who will cuss a nigga out, call him all type of foul names. See, I might give her one pass, hey, don't talk to me like that, and run it down while you can't talk to me like that. And I say one, because if you talking to me like that, you can't be my old lady. I'm not finna deal with no woman who finna talk to me like that, because I'm not finna let no man talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him, hey, bro, don't talk to me like that, bro. I don't come from that generation. You're not calling me no female dog. You know what I'm talking about? You're not calling me out my name. You're not calling me all that, bro. You're not doing that. That's why I say I'm not gonna let no one come and let no man talk to me like that. The difference is you're not getting no physical confrontation with this woman, like that man with that woman. Oh, you can't come around me, baby. You don't get the benefit from me. You don't get to come around me talking to me like that. Because it's mainly, I told you I was in a room with dudes. I'm like, hey, bro, he talking about this nigga house nigga. This nigga this. Nah, bro, you're not gonna talk to me like that, bro. Because I'm not talking to you like that. Some people have a hard time understanding that if I'm giving you proper respect as a man, bro, and you don't want to give that back in return, I'm not just going to sit here and just let you disrespect me because you feel like that's the way you talk. I don't give a damn how you talk, and I don't give a damn about you thinking I'm supposed to accept that. No, I ain't accepting that, my nigga. You not talking to me like that, cuz. What's wrong with you? You're not going to make me accept that. I'm not accepting that. You're not cussing at, man, ain't no woman finna cuss at me, man. You cuss at me one time as a woman, man, you can get it from around me. You know what I'm talking about? You're not finna cuss at me at all. Man, I ain't never heard my mama curse, man. My mama ain't never cursed at me. My entire childhood, my mama ain't never cursed at me. What I look like fooling with a woman cursing at me? And my mama ain't never cursed at me. My grandma ain't never cursed at me. My auntie ain't never cursed at me. You not finna do it. You not finna do that. Because the women who nurtured me did not talk to me like that. My mama never emasculated me with her words. Ever. Not one day in my life did this woman ever emasculate me with her words. Not one time. Not one time. You think I'm finna let some grown woman talk to me like that? And my mama ain't talking to me like that? You got to be out your rabbit mind, man. I'm not doing that. That's insane. That's insane. Man, the men in my life, man, they taught me to be a man of honor. You think I'm finna run with dudes who dishonorable? You think I'm finna hang with you and kick it with you? When the men who taught me weren't like that, you got to be crazy. Man, I'm not doing that. A lot of people don't understand what that means, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know how hard it is if a young man, if your mama emasculated you verbally, how hard it is to not let a woman talk to you like that. That's why some of you ladies, remember, that's why I told you, if you got son, man, don't be yelling and hollering at your sons like that, man. You're going to teach him that a woman can talk to him like that. Don't talk to him like that. It's the same way. It has to be a certain way as a man. You talk to your daughters. You got to talk to them a certain type of way. They're gonna grow up and think a man's supposed to talk to them like that. That's how a lot of young women get caught up with dudes who go upside their head because the way that you chastise them, they think that's how a man's supposed to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? You got to be cognizant of that. You teaching them as an adult how they gonna think that the opposite sex is supposed to treat them. You around here yelling at this boy and all this stuff. Then you wonder, why you dealing with that girl? She be talking because you talk to him like that, man. That's why he do it. You set the precedent. So I mentioned all that to say this. When you dealing with how Yahuwah operate, do you see the precedent he set on how he interacted with you? That's how you supposed to interact with each other. You're going to interact with people based off the way the person who instructed you as a child. That's why he say, as you desiring the sincere milk of the workers' babes, he said, let us put away all envyings. Get it for him. I'm finna say it wrong. 1 Peter 2:1. Say that's they said my mom did and hurt because she did. No, I understand, man. I mean, my mama had a different perspective. Some of that stuff, y'all probably done heard her mention before she passed. She said, I definitely got called out my name bad growing up. I hate when one of my sisters cuss at my nephews because they just kids and that language. And the only reason why your sisters do it because that's what they're used to. So they think that's how you're supposed to communicate. They think that's okay. They don't even know that that's destructive because it was normalized. You know what I'm saying? That's why when there's certain stuff you see me looking crazy because boy, I'm not used to that. Like I couldn't dwell in no house with no woman screaming and hollering all that old extra stuff because I ain't used to that. My people didn't do that. They didn't do that. So I'm not gonna live with that. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely not. So our biological mom did it even within the past few years. See, look at man, there's absolutely nothing a child could do that would cause me to eviscerate them with their words. There's absolutely, I mean, anything a child could do is common to a child, depending on their age. Not finna be spazzing out on no 5-year-old. Is what the 5-year-old did really that bad, or is it you? Because you know, it's a video of tonight's conversation where they do be like, men get frustrated around a lot of kids. And I was like, I ain't never been frustrated around a lot of kids. Somebody got on there, that's cap. I say maybe for you. Y'all know what I'm finna say. There's absolutely no way on Yahuwah's green earth that I'm gonna let a nigga who just stopped doodling on himself frustrate me. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I may have to put on an authoritative tone or this, that, there, and the third, but I'm not finna be frustrated with no churn. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a way to get him in line. And you know what it is? Put him to work. You put him to work. You give him something to do. If I need to get you in line, I give you a task. And I oversee that task. I ain't been frustrated by a nigga who just doodled on himself. This nigga ain't got control over his bowels. This individual literally is reliant upon me for their very survival. If they are in my care, he can't frustrate me. I won't allow him to. If he can do that, he got more power over me than I have over him. I ain't gonna let it happen. He said, a brother said some right words. It was about doctrine. He said, doctrine don't make you that bad. Life do. It do. Yeah, man. You got really, man, look at man. And you know why I hold to that perspective? For one reason and one reason alone. Because I used to be a child. Yeah, I might be some decades removed from being one, but I used to be a child. So I'm already knowing. I'm looking at them from the perspective. I was 5, I was 6, I was 7, I was 8. They're a child. Guess what? Joanne and Ball Jamal gonna go in them cabins. You know why? Now Joanne is a different reason. She started off while Jamal do it, exploring what is this. Now she just touched stuff for the pure spot of I'm trying to get a reaction. What reaction can I get? And then I'm gonna run off because everything is a game to me. But then most children at a certain age, they think everything is a game. Oh, they think you playing. Ain't nobody playing with you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to know your child. Just like we talked about the other day, he know if you're frame, but you are dust. You got to know your child, how they think, how they operate, and minister to them according to that. Sometimes you're going to have to raise your voice. Sometimes you might have to pop them upside their behind. But more so than anything, that's a child, cuz. Yelling at this child and calling this child all type of rude and disrespectful names is completely and utterly unnecessary. That is completely a show of lack of spiritual, mental, and emotional control. You taking out whatever you got going on in your life, you taking it out on that baby. That baby didn't do it to you. That baby ain't did nothing to you. You don't bring what you got going on in life and make that baby pay for it. That's how most children get abused. You know what I'm talking about? Whether that's mental, emotional, verbal, or physical abuse. Sexual abuse is something different. That nigga's a pervert. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't life dealing with him. That nigga evil. He got some stuff going on that ain't proper. You know what I'm talking about? But the other one though, that's usually niggas taking life out on that child because you feel like they weaker, they can't fight back. You mad because whatever outside the door whooping on you and you can't whoop that, so you want to whoop that baby. I hope God kill you. And I mean that sincerely. I ain't talking about you go to hell, I hope you die. You know what I'm talking about? And when I say I hope you die, I ain't even talking about literal death. I hope all your dreams die. I hope all your hopes die. I hope everything you wanted to do die. I'm talking about anything you ever wanted to do in life, I hope it die. And if you have to die with it, then so be it. Because you should have put your hands on that baby. You shouldn't be talking to that baby like that. He said, I think folks forget patience, compassion, and understanding and mercy that an adult should have for a child. Because I hear parents say, I ain't got the patience to deal with him or her. And that's because they really don't have it. He said, I wonder how you feel if y'all came at you like how you come at that child. And I believe, and I told y'all about that before. How would you want Yahuwah to deal with you how you deal with your children? Because you be going to hell. You be going to hell. Now, I know some of y'all got some hard-headed children because that little girl in their head is just like granny. But, of course, you know children test boundaries, man. They want to see what they can get away with, which is what most people do with you. You want to push the limits of the sin you can get away with. So if you want Yahuwah to have, because that's what we say, we all a work in progress. Well, be a work in progress with that baby. They 3. What the hell do you expect from a 3-year-old? Do you know niggas be expecting a lot from small children? You expect this nigga to know how to get up, go to the bathroom, you know what I'm talking about, flush the toilet, wipe his butt, clean his clothes. Everything. That's a baby. They can barely put together strong sentences. You know why? Because you don't want to take the time to instruct. But everybody want to teach the word. My God, today. Where we at, man?
1 Peter 2:1.
Come on, run that for me.
Said, wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisy.
See that? All malice, all guile, all hypocrisy.
And envies and all evil speaking.
And evil speakings and your envy as what?
Newborn babies.
Newborn babies.
Desire the sincere milk of the word.
So you can grow.
Thereby.
That's why I say you got to put all that stuff away. You ain't newborn in the word. You still dealing with all of that. Let me read 1 Corinthians 14 and 22. I'll read 20. Matter of fact, I think, but let me make sure, because I came here for what Muffin mentioned. Let me read verse 11 or verse 7. 1 Corinthians 14 and 7. He said, even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? So likewise, you utter by the tongue words easy to be understood. How shall it be known what is spoken? For you shall speak into the air. There are, it may be, so many kinds of voices in the world, and none of them is without signification. Therefore, if I have not known the meaning of the voice, I shall be unto him that speak a barbarian, and he that speaks shall be a barbarian unto me. Even so, as you foremuch are zealous of spiritual gifts, seek that you might excel to the what? The edifying of the assembly. See, everybody talking about where the signs at. This man say, man, make sure that you excel in building up the body. Give him excel and edifying on general principle. See, don't nobody want to excel in that. Everybody I've been told this here, man. Everybody want gimmicks because they ain't got no word. See, they know they can't hold the people with the word, so they got to hold them with gimmicks. But when the gimmicks run out, guess who loses? We do. Excel. You had a Hyundai Excel?
That is persuio, that is to exceed a fixed number of measures, to be left over and above a certain number of measures, to be over, to remain, to abound, to overflow.
To overflow, abound, and edification. That's building the body. You build it with the word. Edification, please, good sir.
Oikonomai, that is building up, edifying, edification. The active one who promotes another's growth in Christian wisdom.
So you trying to, he said, I need you to overflow in helping people grow, to come to maturity. You know, and I told you we didn't have the conversation before. You know how many times men and women get offended when I be like, I don't need no woman to nurture me because my mama did. Because remember, to nurture is the aid to the growth and development of. As a grown man, I don't need that from a grown woman. My mama did her job. That was her job, and she did it. Do you know that people get offended by that because that is intimidating? Because what do you mean you don't need somebody? Because I'm a full-fledged adult, cuz I'm not mentally and emotionally handicapped to where I'm looking for a mother figure as a grown man. As a grown man, you should not need your wife to nurture you in manhood. You should be fully functioning as a man when you get her. And if you're not, you don't need a wife. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't have people say that, well, what if you? No, that means you don't need a wife. You don't need a mother. You need a wife. Your wife is not your mother. And you shouldn't be looking for her to be your mother. That is a sign of arrested development. You can take that how you want to take it. You know what I'm talking about? But these are things that my mama made mention to me. I said, I don't need that. I'm a grown man. Because if you want your wife to be your mama, she can never be your wife. She'll always be your mama. And a lot of women, they're not raised to be a wife. They taught that you got to be a man's mama. That's not her fault. Because that's what the women who taught them, that's what they teaching them, because that's what they believe, because they weren't fooling with fully functional men, so they thought they had to be his mama. They didn't get an opportunity to just be a wife. You know what I'm talking about? And you know how that started? That as a grown man, I ain't got no problem if you cook food for me, but you ain't got to come to my house and clean my house or wash my clothes. I don't need you to come over here and do that. I don't need you to come over here and make my bed. I don't need you to come over here and do that. If you over here and you do that because that's just what you wanted to do, all right, cool. But I'm not calling you to ask you to do that. You can wash my clothes for me. I wash my own clothes. Maybe you come over here and clean my house. What's she cleaning your house for? She don't live here. I don't need you to come over here and do that. See, I'm not talking about she want to do it because she there. I'm talking about you calling her, asking her to do that. Now, I know some of y'all, we talked about this before, when y'all get sick, you act like little children. I ain't never been, I'll get sick, but I'm going to get my money, man. I'm going to the gym and all that. I have to literally be incapacitated. Because in my mind, I'll be all right. I can still go out there. I can still make it happen. That's just how my mind works. Man, I could be coughing and my whole lungs about to come out. I'll be all right. I got something to do. It's some money out there. I got to go get it. I can't let it wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to literally be like, oh, yeah. Boy. See, there's a difference, right? I know when I'm hurt and when I'm injured. You know what I'm talking about? See, if I'm hurt, it's just a little discomfort. I'll be all right. I'm injured, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? See, this is not no level of bravado. I know the difference. If I'm injured, if I'm hurt. See, I know if I'm sick and I'm not well. See, if I'm sick, I'm going to go make it happen. If I'm not well, I'm going to lay it down. You know what I'm talking about?
You've been out there, I think I'm stepped on the nail, the limping around, with the cane on the field.
Yeah, I got to get it. If I'm not incapacitated, then I'm going. And that's whatever it is that I'm doing. Not just with the period. I'm still, nigga, I had a whole hole in my hand, man. My whole hand was sliced open. I still went to the gym. I still went to work. I still preached. I didn't take nothing off because I can still function. Okay, I can't do this. I can do this. Okay, I can't do this, then I can do that. You know what I'm saying? But sitting around ringing a bell, I can't do it. I'm just not built like that. I can't do it. I'm not mad at nobody else who do it. Hey, you get sick. Basically, I don't need, man. Look at, man, I can't do it because she's not my wife's not my mama. She's my wife. If I wanted a mama, I could have just stayed with my mama my entire life and say, "Mommy, mommy, me." Yeah, could have did that. I just wasn't raised that way. So my mind don't operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to be based off how you were instructed. That's why when we always talk about the word, how I look at the word is always through the testimony of a Mashiach, because that's how I was instructed. I didn't come in the word where, oh, we the Israelites or the law or this. That's not how I came in the word. So my mindset to the word is going to be different. Go ahead and snort you some cocaine. You'll be all right. You need some.
I don't want to grow up.
Some cocaine? Why not? You know what cocaine is? This nigga done married a junkie. My God, today. These people heard you. 1 Corinthians 14 and 13. Wherefore, let him that speak in tongue pray that he may interpret. Of course, they added unknown. For if I pray in an unknown tongue, my ruach pray, but my understanding is unfruitful. What is it then? I will pray with the ruach. I will pray with the understanding also. I will sing with the ruach. I will sing with understanding also. Else, when you bless with the ruach, how shall he that occupy the room? I'm gonna say, why not? Of the unlearned say amen, and that giving of thanks, seeing he understand not what you say. For you truly give thanks well, but the other is not edified. I thank my Elohim, I speak with tongues more than you all. Yet in the assembly, I rather speak 5 words with my understanding, that I might teach others also, than 10,000 words in a tongue. Brethren, be not children in understanding, howbeit in malice. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. But be ye children, but in understanding, be men. In the law it is written, with men of other tongues and other lips will I speak unto this people, yet for all that they will not hear me, saith Yahuwah. Wherefore tongues are not a sign not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. But prophesying not for them that believe not, for them which believe. If therefore the whole assembly come together in one place and all speak with tongues, and there come in those that are unlearned or unbelievers, will they not say that you are mad? But if all prophesy, and there come in one that believe not, or one unlearned, he is convinced of all, he is judged of all, and thus the secrets of his heart made manifest. So falling down on his face, he will worship Elohim and report that Elohim is in you of a truth. What are some signs that she's not a helpmeet, but she acting like your mama? Shoot. You just answered that question. You just answered that question. One of the first signs she ain't a helpmeet, you ain't got nothing for her to help her meet. I'm dead serious. You can't ask for no helpmeet and you ain't got nothing for her to help you to meet. You got to have something going on for her to help you to meet. You know what I'm saying? You can't be at the house scratching on your testicles playing Call of Duty all day. What's she going to help you with? She going to be your mama then. But if you got something for her to help to meet, she can't be your mama because you putting her to work. She contributing to the process of your progress. There's no way she could be your mama. She's contributing to your life. Your mama didn't contribute to your life. Your mama helped sustain and maintain your life because that was her responsibility along with your father. You know what I'm talking about? But your wife, she's supposed to contribute to your life. And that means you have to have something going on for her to contribute to. Now, whatever that is, that's between you and whatever you got. She said she gonna help a nigga get rank on Call of Duty. Hell no. I ain't never played Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? I know some people have a large issue with men who play video games. I personally don't care what you do. They ain't none of my business. You know what I'm saying? But if video games don't allow you to get accomplished what you need to get accomplished, you might need to reassess your life. And it all depends on who you talk to. Do I play video games? No, I do not. One, because I ain't here. And two, I just don't have the desire, because I only played one game anyway. Now it would probably been two. That would be NCAA. All I ever bought was Madden when I had video. You know, my mom bought me baseball games and this, that, there, and the third, but it got to the point that all I bought was Madden. I didn't play nothing else. Never played Bond, you know what I'm saying? 007. I ain't played none of that stuff. Just Madden. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, it's not the same. I don't want to play people online because that's not how we grew up. We grew up where I got come to the house and we played, you know what I'm saying, play against each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a part of no online community. I heard them people on there very disrespectful. I ain't got time for that. Said video game used to hate to see me coming. I love gaming. I ain't got no issue. I ain't got issues with nothing that anybody got going on if that's your pastime and that's how you entertain yourself. You know what I'm saying? Some people want you to be on the grind 24/7. Hey, that's your business if that's what you want to do. Some people, hey, this is what I do to unwind. This is what I enjoy to do in my free time. That's your business. I ain't gonna be look at this nigga here playing video games. If that's what you like to do. Now, if you're playing video games for 16 hours in a day, you might need to reassess your life. Oh, I didn't miss out. I knew about GoldenEye 007. I ain't played them type of games. I was never into them type of games. I literally only played sports games, man. That's all I wanted to play. That's it. You know what I'm talking about? Other than that, I ain't, you know, you get Sonic when you bought the Sega. Okay, it's Sonic. I don't want to play this no more. You play Madden. You know what I'm saying? Look at here. I like to play video games with my man. We play whatever we want. We can play. I don't know the game, but I'll play it.
Hey man, I got one controller.
Who, boy? We play Tecmo Bowl every day, man. Every single solitary day. Matter of fact, playing Tecmo Bowl is when my homeboy Razik, his sister's old man Justin, that's when he taught us a whole bunch of stuff when we used to be in there playing Tecmo Bowl. I remember he went off on Razik. He said, look at this country behind nigga with his tag on his shirt. Country behind nigga. See, the shirt speak for itself. But see, it was a bigger lesson than what he was talking about. And he went further with that. I think he had on a polo, back then people like to keep the heel figure tag or the polo tag on their shirt. He went off by that, though. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bigger point that, man, if you got XYZ, it speak for itself, man, you ain't got to try to show off and prove nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never forget that. He said, I still play Call of Duty. I might can. He said, I might not be the coldest at Call of Duty, but I'm cold in plenty of other games. I don't even know no other game. I only know Mad, you know what I'm saying? and NCAA, maybe WWE. But I ain't never played on my, man, I'm not buying none of that junk, man. Nigga be like Lil Johnny. He got that PlayStation around there just looking at it. He walk past it every day. Look at this $500 you spent. I wouldn't be saying to you, look at me. You know, you're not going to touch me today. I've been sitting in here for 3 months. You ain't touched me yet. Nigga go in there and play it just to play it. You discussing with yourself because you like to say, I got to make it worth my while. Because you bought it because you think you're going to play it. And then you realize, I ain't got time to play this. I should have kept my money. Man, you don't got to watch movies on no PlayStation in 2024. Man, if you watching movies on a PlayStation or any type of gaming system, man, and you paying for streaming rights, you ought to kick yourself in behind for being fiscally irresponsible. Man, that was a thing 20 years ago.
Most people got smart TVs nowadays.
Yeah, that was a thing 20 years ago. That was a thing 20 years ago.
One thing, if you ain't got a smart TV.
Yeah, that was a thing 20 years ago.
They're gonna buy a Roku.
He said, no, I definitely returned Costco and got a generous return policy. I heard that. Hey, because I remember one day we said, like, man, I don't even play that. I'm damn right, go get my money back. You know what I'm talking about? I say not being, because when you got it, you thinking you're going to play it. I ain't even got time to play it. And when I do got time, I don't want to play that. He said, I got a wife. I want to play with that. That's why he got them children.
These kids sleep play.
Play with my wife. You play with this game. I got a woman in here. He said, my kids play. Now, see, that's different because you got kids. They gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? You guys, and he got boys. See, Monte got boys. They gonna play it, and then you might end up playing, the game with them. You know what I'm saying? But look here, Noah ain't playing no video game. You know what I'm saying? He ain't playing no video game. I ain't mad at him. Shoot, that's how I go. Come on, read Jose 2-10. Now, I say, man, some people like I said, man, they ain't now. If like I say, right, if Jamal was old enough, got it in here, you sit and play some Madden with him. Come on, boy, he probably gonna beat the brakes off him. Cause them kids, because he gonna be in there playing it. You know what I'm talking about? He gonna be in there playing it. He gonna be nice with it. He gonna know all the moves. I ain't gonna know nothing. Please play with me, Daddy. But then again, I'd be one like this. Here, I'm gonna figure this out, boy. I ain't gonna show you no mercy. I'm gonna beat the brakes off you every time. He said he might play when the new GTA 6 come out. See, I never played that either. You know what I'm saying? It's always sports. Always sports. Hey, man, we was raised with athletes, and that's what we did, man. We played sports year round. We played baseball, we played basketball, we played football. You know what I'm saying? We did all that. From 10 to 18. Look at her, Crash Bandicoot. She looked like a bandicoot. I just love that game. You heard her. She sounded about Sam. She had a flashback. I love that game. Yeah, when I was in college, they had a video game thing up there. We used to play the other NFL game that they took off the market. Game Day. Because it used to be Game Day and Madden. And then EA got the exclusive licensing, and that's why it's only one game. Classic. He said he loved classic. I did play sports in real life, please. It's just not organized sports. I didn't play organized sports because I wasn't going to make no money at it. What I look like going out here for practice for 2-3 hours just to say I play high school football. Nigga, I want some money. You know what I'm talking about? And if I can't make some money doing this here, that means, hey, when we playing football at the park or playing basketball at the park or playing baseball at the park in the neighborhood and I want to leave and go get some money, I can just leave. Yeah, I can just leave. Monte say they got Crash Bandicoot on the PS4. Don't give Boop no idea. And then her and Joanne gonna be in here talking about Crash. De'Aaron say you sound like Trina. She says Cyprio, the Dragon fan. Oh, Misha say WWE for the truth. Her cousins used to play breaking each other back, slamming each other on tables. I hope not in the living room. Come on, man. Jose 2-10.
And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and I shall deliver her out of my hand. I'll also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Shabbats, and all her solemn feasts. And I'll destroy her vines and her fig trees, whereof she has said, these my rewards that my lovers have given me, and I will make them a forest, and the beasts of the field shall eat them.
Go ahead.
And I will visit upon her the days of Balaam, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels. And she went after her lovers and forgot me, saith Yahuwah.
No, she forgot me.
Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably.
Tell them what the Lord means. Definitely got to check that out. Don't have it. I ain't mad at you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
The Lord is the thought to be spacious, to be open, to be wide, to be simple, to entice, to deceive, to persuade.
He want to persuade you. Come on.
And I will give her vineyards from thence and the valley of Achor for a door of hope, and she shall sing.
Give you the who?
Give her vineyards from thence
and
the valley
of Achor. Y'all remember the valley of Achor? We ain't talked about the valley of Achor in a long time. Go ahead.
She shall sing there as in the days of her youth. And
she shall sing there in the days of her youth.
And when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And that shall be at that day, saith Yahuwah, you shall call me Ishi, and shall call me no more Bali. For I will take away the names of Balaam out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by the name.
Let me tell you what, Valley. He said, you won't be calling me by another guy. You're going to call me your husband. But the valley of Achor, that's where Achan took the accursed thing at. And that's where his family died at. It's also, it's a place of judgment, but it's also a place where he turned trouble into hope. Some people debate where it's at, But that's a whole another deal. Hold on one second. I'm in the wrong place. Tell them what HR mean, man, just in case they don't forgot or never knew.
That's trouble or disturbance. That's the valley of trouble where Achan and his family were stoned.
Where Achan and his family were stoned. Isaiah 65. Give him 65 and 7.
Your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith Yahuwah, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills.
My God, today.
Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom. Thus saith Yahuwah, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and saith, destroy it not, for a blessing in it. So will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Yehudah, an inheritor of my mountains. And my elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. And Sharon shall be a fold of flocks, in the valley of Achor, a place for the herds to lie down in.
So the same place that there was trouble in Yasharal is going to be a place of safety. So he told you, I'm going to give you the valley of Achor as the door of hope. The same place where you had trouble, I'm going to give you peace at. Go back to Hosea 2 where you was at. Now, I mentioned all that stuff with an apostle, and it's a multitude of things that we ain't even began to discuss. But I will before we leave off here. And the main thing that I wanted to discuss, because it's 10:30. Because we went late. We got on here right at 8. So we good to go. Come on.
Verse 18.
Oh, I need you to read me 14 again.
Mm-hmm. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably.
Now, remember, that speak comfortably means he's going to speak to your heart. That comfortably is led. He's going to speak to you. You can't speak to somebody's inward man without love, mercy, and grace. It's impossible. It's impossible. That's why he say, with love and kindness, I'm going to draw you. So when you see how he say that, how can they preach except they be sent? Get a Malachi 2 and 7. Apostles are literally ambassadors. Some will use the word emissary. Some will use messenger, because that's what a prophet was described as. That's what an angel is described as, a malachim, a messenger, someone who is sent. An apostle is someone who is sent. After you read that, get John 13 and 20. Malachi 2 and 7.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
The priest's lips should keep what?
Knowledge.
And they should seek
the law at his mouth.
For he is
the messenger of Yahuwah of hosts.
My God, today. Give him the word messenger, man.
That's Malak, a messenger, a representative.
A representative. An apostle is nothing but what a malachim is, but with higher information. That's it. It's not anything. Their job position is not anything new. The function of the job may be new, but the job in itself is nothing new. It's just a different word to say the same, because apostle is not in the Old Testament. But we literally read apostle in Greek means what? A delegate, a representative, a messenger, which is literally a malachim. You can be a malachim and not be an angel. All malachims aren't angels. That's just the word used for angels. You know why? Because an angel is sent. He's literally sent. The angels don't sit in heaven and be like, I'm going to go do what I want. They're sent. They have a specific job and they represent the Father in heaven when they go do it. Mashiach was literally sent. Yahushua was literally sent by his Father. He is a delegate and representative of his Father. That's why he said, when you see me, you see who? My Father also, because he is a representative of him. 2 Corinthians 5 and 18. And this is what these representatives do. This is the main aspect of the gospel. This is something that, remember, we mentioned this here, right, with the apostles, with the signs and the wonder. You remember on Pentecost, these men preached to every man out of every tongue and nation under heaven. Only 3,000 people got baptized. And guess what? You know the beautiful thing outside of speaking in tongues, and they were speaking in tongues because you had all those people from every nation there. They didn't work any other sign other than that. All Peter did was drop word. Because they said we hear all the wonderful works of God in our own language. And you know why they did that? Because you had a city full of people who didn't believe. They had never heard the gospel of Mashiach before. So don't you think it would make sense that he would have them speak in their language as a sign that they might believe the same thing he did when he brought you out of Egypt? He had Moses and Aaron work signs that you might believe. Because again, signs and wonders are not for those who believe, but those who believe not. And truth be told, the mass majority of people who dealing with the word don't believe. That's why they always looking for a sign. Go ahead, man.
And all things of Elohim, who have reconciled us to himself by Yahushua.
He's reconciled himself to what? To himself. Come on.
By Yahushua Mashiach, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation.
The ministry of what?
Reconciliation.
Tell them what reconciliation is, man. Just in case they forgot.
Catalogate, that is an exchange, an adjustment of a difference, reconciliation, or restoration to favor.
A restoration to favor.
Or an atonement.
That's it. We have the gospel of atonement. We literally, when you preach in the gospel, you literally are supposed to be manifest in Leviticus 16, but with a higher level of information. Every time we preach the word, it's literally supposed to be representative of the 10th day of the 7th month. Literally, when the atonement is made. Or what? The purging of iniquity. My God, today. That's how you're able to get a redeemer. But see, these people not swift enough to understand that that's what you have when you have the gospel. When we literally read, when this man say his name is merciful and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. That is literally reconciliation. Literally. But it's not reconciliation by the law. It's reconciliation by God himself. Because who else can reconcile you but Elohim? The law can't do it. Bulls and goats can't do it. Go ahead, continue, sir. Well, these niggas be on here Bitcoin hustling. You understand me?
To wit, that Elohim was in Mashiach reconciling the world unto himself, not imputing the trespasses unto them, and have committed unto us the word of reconciliation. Now then, we are ambassadors for Hamashiach. So
if they're an ambassador with the gospel of reconciliation, tell them what ambassador is right there, man. That's literally what an apostle is. We represent this man. That's why he said we don't preach ourselves, but Mashiach. That's why Paul said that in 2 Corinthians 4.
Presbyuo, that's to be older, prior by birth or an age, to be an ambassador, to act as an ambassador.
To be an ambassador.
To act as a representative.
To act as a representative.
Figuratively, a preacher.
A preacher. A coalesce. An arranger of sentences. You know what we got to read, sir. Ecclesiastes 12 and 9.
Moreover, because the preacher was wise. He still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed.
That he might set in order.
Many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words.
Even what?
Written upright, words of truth. The words of the wise
are as what?
Goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies are given from one shepherd.
By one shepherd. So that means for you, even with the preacher's representative of an apostle, because he got to get the word from one shepherd. God got to give it to him. Yahushua got to give it to him. If he don't give it to him, he can't set these dark sentences in order. This stuff be right here, man. John 13 and 20. I asked for that.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that receive whomsoever I send,
whomsoever what?
I send.
Whosoever send what?
I send, receive me. And he that received me, receive him that sent me.
If you literally sent, you literally an apostle if he send you. And if he send you, then you're supposed to have what? John 14:26.
But the Comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you.
He said he'll bring to remembrance whatsoever I what?
Said unto you.
So before you can even have the Ruach HaKodesh teach you all things, you would have had to what? Heard the word first. You would have had to hear the gospel first. You would have had to search it, saw it, and believed it. John 15 and 13. I said 15 and 13. It's 15:26.
But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Abba, the Ruach of truth, which proceed from the Abba, he shall testify of me.
Testify who?
Of me.
So if these things saying they got the Ruach, they supposed to be testifying of the Son of God. Ain't that's what we read in 1 John 5 and 7? If you have the witness of man, the witness of Elohim is greater. Hold on, let me read it to you. Read that again.
Say, but when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Abba, the Ruach of truth, which proceed from the Abba, he shall testify of me.
He'll do what?
Testify of me.
He gonna testify who?
Of me.
What else?
And you also shall bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning.
So then he said, once the Ruach testified him, the apostles would testify of Yahushua. That's what he said, right? John 16 and 13 to finish it off. 1 John 5 and 9, though. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater. For this is the witness of Elohim, which he testified of his son. He that believe on the son of Elohim have the witness in himself. And that's what he just said. And you believe on the son of Elohim by believing on him as the scripture have said. This is what the apostles came to teach. Nobody else had that but them 12 men. And then he hit Barnabas and Paul off with it. Then Apollos Alexandria got hit off with it. Continue.
Howbeit, when he, the Ruach of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself.
But he'll do what?
But whatsoever he shall hear, shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. He shall esteem me.
He shall do what?
Esteem me.
He'll do what?
Esteem me.
Come on, man.
For he shall receive of mine, and shall show unto you all things that the Abba have are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you.
That man literally said that the Ruach will esteem the Son. You esteem the Son through the word. This stuff ain't hard, man. See, people think, believe on Jesus. What does that mean? What does that look like? Just saying it? If the only way you believe on Yahushua is because you believe Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and you don't understand him from Genesis to Malachi, you in actuality don't believe. And it's not because there's something wrong with you or that you're faithless. What do you believe on? Because when he literally resurrected from the dead, he said, these are the things written in the law of Moses and in the Psalms and in the prophets concerning me. Then he said he opened their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. Paul sat down in his hired house and beginning at Moses and all the prophets expounded unto them the things of the kingdom of Elohim and testified of Yahushua HaMashiach. This is literally how that is done. They didn't have a Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John to derive from. So when Paul is doing this, when Mashiach is doing this, they knowing that when they speaking of the things that this man did, they like, yeah, this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here. When Apollos from Alexandria sat in that synagogue and did that with them Yahudim, that man took them through the book. Yeah, right here in Genesis. You said, yeah, right here in 2 Samuel, when Abner got hit in the side. Yeah, that's that right there. That's why that happened. Yeah. See this right here? Yeah. He just went here, boom, 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 boom. That's got to be given from heaven. You know what I'm talking about? And then you minister that unto men, and then men can minister that unto other men. But that's given from heaven. So dudes don't be give me John chapter 3, verse 30. Dudes don't understand how serious that is. And when I say serious it is, it's not to the esteem of the individual who do it. It's to the esteem of your Father in heaven for manifesting the righteousness which is of faith. Manifesting the tree of life to you so you can live. And we don't give it the proper respect because we don't value it. You don't value it because you ain't been told how precious it is. That's why Matthew, he said the kingdom of heaven is like a person who found a great pearl and sold everything they had and went and hid it. Because the witness of the Son of God is not valuable because you've been told that it's not. You've been told that it's Christian, or you've been told whatever the case may be, or you've never been exposed to it, or you think it's just somebody thinking that they think they know something everybody else don't know, and this, that, and the third, and you missing the value of it, because the value of it is you literally would be possessing the spirit of the living God when you believe it and accept it and internalize it. Go ahead, sir.
He must increase, but I decrease. He that come from above is above all. He that is of the earth is earthly, and speak of the earth. And he that come from Shamaim is above all. What he have seen and heard, that he testified, and no man received his testimony.
No man received his testimony.
He that have received his testimony have set to his seal that Elohim is true.
If you receive the testimony of the Son of the living God, you prove that God is true.
For he whom Elohim have sent speak the words of Elohim.
See, he that Elohim have sent do what?
Speak the words of Elohim.
Ain't that's what Malachi 2 said? That's what the apostles did. That's what an apostle. I'm mentioning all this because we started in Revelation 2 that you tried them who say they are apostles and they are not. This is how you try them. You're supposed to be like, no Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We talked about this before. You want to, if a man tell you he's an apostle, I don't care if he's Christian or Hebrew. I don't care where they at. If they say they're an apostle, you need to say, hey, brother, from Matthew to Revelation, can you show me Genesis to Malachi? Meaning, can you show me the beginning from the end? Hey, brother, can you show me the end from the beginning? Meaning, can you show me Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and Genesis to Malachi? Can you show me that, brother? Can you show me the witness of the Son of God? I ain't talking about no Isaiah 53 either. I ain't talking about no Psalms 22 either. I'm talking about a comprehensive understanding. That man is supposed to be able to show you the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. That's what Isaiah told you. He said, I'll show you the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. That means when you go in Genesis 1, that man should be able to show you Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the epistle letters and Revelation in that. Because that's the beginning. So you're supposed to show me the end there. And then when you go in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the epistle letters and Revelation, that man's supposed to be able to show you Genesis from that. The creation. How it's going down. They're supposed to be able to do that. That's mandatory. You know why? Because he said every scribe which is instructed into the kingdom of heaven is like a householder which brings things out of his vessel, things new and old. That's a part of the job description, blood. That's how that goes. The man done told you what to pay attention for. You not listening. You know why you not listening? Because you want teachers according to your heart and not according to Elohim's. See, an apostle is not some stunt where some dudes want to call themselves an apostle to try to rank and have authority and rule over the people and have the people worship him and give them all their money and all this other type of stuff. That nigga ain't an apostle. That nigga a buster. That's what he is. It's a job title, a serious job title. Because when you say you're an apostle, you saying God sent you. And you saying you got the witness of God. Which means you got the words of everlasting salvation. That's what you saying. This ain't got nothing to do with if you suffer or not. This ain't got nothing to do if you got names, if your names, amen. This ain't got nothing to do if your names is in the foundations of the city. Because those are the first 12. They're the foundation of the faith. That's how stupid these niggas is, man. Read that for me, man, Revelation 21. Because the man literally tell you that. And you know why they names on there? Because of the 12 pillars that he laid down there in the wilderness by Moses. It's the foundation. Come on, with it. Ain't that what he said with Peter? Upon this rock, I'm going to do what? Build my house. Of course, they're going to have preeminence on anybody who come after them. Go ahead, man.
Verse 10.
Go ahead.
And he carried me away in the ruach to a great and high mountain and showed me that great city, Kadash Jerusalem, descending out of Shamahim from Elohim, having the esteem of Elohim, and her light like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Come on.
And had a wall great and high, had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 malachim, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Yasharal. And on the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, and on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations.
The wall of the city had 12 what?
Foundations.
Tell them what foundation is, man. We ain't talking about no makeup. You like foundation? I don't even know what that is.
That's the Melios. That's laid down as a foundation. The foundation of a building, wall, or city.
A foundation of a building, wall, or city.
Foundations, the beginnings, the first principles.
The beginnings.
Or of institution or system of truth.
These men are the beginnings of the preaching of the gospel. You know how we know this? Matthew 16 and 13.
When Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?
What Peter said.
And they said, some John the Baptist, some Elijah,
some Jeremiah.
Or one of the prophets. He said unto them, but whom say you that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, you are the Hamashiach, the son of the living Elohim.
Son of the who?
Living Elohim.
Son of the who?
Living Elohim.
I want y'all to keep that last part in mind. The son of the who?
Living Elohim.
Come on.
And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Baruch are you, Simon Bar-Jonah?
For what?
Flesh and blood have not revealed unto you, but my Abba, which is in Shamayim.
This how you showing you right now how Peter was going to be an apostle, because man didn't show him that. God did. Not what DJ Khaled was talking about. Because God ain't showed him. A God showed him something, but it wasn't a living God. I don't know what God it was, but it wasn't the God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
And I say also unto you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my assembly, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
These men are the foundation of the faith. You don't think that these men gonna have a higher level of esteem than anybody else in that job? They're the foundation. They're the first people who went out and did this. Now, let me finish this here in 1 John, right? Verse 10. Verse 9, if we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater. For this is the witness of Elohim, which he testified of his son. He that believe on the son of Elohim hath the witness in himself. He that believe not Elohim hath made him a liar, because he believed not the record that Elohim gave of his son. And this is the record that Elohim hath given to us, eternal life, and this life is in his son. Read me John 17:3. Dang, I forgot where I was going to go.
And this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true Elohim, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent.
The true what?
True Elohim.
Tell them what true is right there, man. You used to watch true crime stories? He said, I did too.
Alethanos, that's that which has not only the name and resemblance, but the real nature corresponding to the name, in every respect corresponding to the ideas signified by the name, real, true, genuine.
Listen, man, that man said everything that represents Exodus 34, 6 and 7. That's what it basically telling you. Everything that represents Exodus 34 and 6 and 7, that's the true Elohim. If it don't represent Exodus 34, 6 and 7, that's not the true God. If it don't represent merciful and gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression, that's not the true Elohim. This is one of the instances how you're able to make a distinction between that and false gods that most people can't do. I'm going to read you something to Deuteronomy 5 and 25. I'll make it 22. These are the words Yahuwah spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, out of the cloud, out of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And it came to pass when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountains did burn with fire, that you came near unto me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And you said, behold, Yahuwah Elohim have showed us his esteem and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Elohim do talk with man, and he lived. Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yahuwah our Elohim anymore, then we shall die. For who of all flesh have heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking out of the midst of the fire as we, and live? Go you near and hear all that Yahuwah our Elohim shall say, and speak unto us all that Yahuwah Elohim shall speak unto you, and we will hear and do. And what a lot of people don't realize is they say, man, if we hear the voice of Yahuwah, we'll die. They were asking who can hear the voice of Yahuwah and live. And he showed it to you when he manifested himself in the flesh and said, you can hear my voice and live. Because he said, the words that I speak unto you, they are ruach and they are life. But what I want you to focus on is verse 26, when he say the voice of the who? Tell them what living Elohim is, man.
Living is Kaid, that's living, alive.
Living and alive. And this is the part of the game that I wanted to get on Wednesday and tonight. The living power, the living mighty one, the living ruler, the living judge. This is the difference between all that is called God and the true God. Because none of these other gods are called the living God. See, come over here to John 4 and 22. I mentioned it earlier. You can make it 20. I had something else in mind. You who are willing, he bring it back to mind. If not, we're going to get off of here.
Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and you say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahshua said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour come, we shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Abba. You worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Yahudim.
Listen.
But the hour coming now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Abba in Ruach and in truth, for the Abba seeks such to worship him. Elohim a Ruach.
Elohim is what?
A Ruach.
A what?
A Ruach.
And
they that worship him
must worship
Ruach and in truth.
Now, Deuteronomy 32, he said he lift up his hands and swear before heaven that he what? Live forever. This is the difference between Jupiter and Mercury, who we talked about, or Isis and Osiris and Hathor and Horus and Marduk and Enlil and Enki and any last one of them. None of them are described as living gods. A lot of these stories with these gods get killed. But Yahuwah is referred to as the living Elohim. Now, why would you think? Hold on. Come over here to Matthew 20. Now, I'd have to do some deep diving to see if any God that could be called God under heaven is referred to as a living God. I haven't seen any, or if I did see it, it's not immediately coming to mind. I want you to come over here to Matthew 20. Let me make what we have with it. That ain't it. Or is it 22? Yeah, 22. Come on, 22 and 23. Matthew 22 and 23.
The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die
having
no children,
his brother
shall marry his wife
and raise up
seed unto his brother.
Now there were 7
brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife deceased, and having no issue, left his wife.
I'm gonna pause this. You know how wicked of a nigga you got to be to come ask somebody some stuff like this here? See, this is the stuff that I know that this would make the Lord go off, because this is a disingenuous, tempting, ridiculous question. You're not asking this question because you have a sincerity of wanting to know the answer. You're asking this question because you're a douchebag. And you know it too. Go ahead.
Now there was with the 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife deceased, having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th. And last of all, the woman died also.
Therefore,
in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her.
What type of nigga care about that? Who wife she gonna be? That's what you worry about, cuz? This man talking about giving you life from death, and you worrying about who gonna have her for a wife? That's what you concerned with, cuz? I know he had to want to cuss them out, cuz I want to cuss these niggas out. But he's a professional, and he handled it professionally. And before he went into giving them a proper answer, he let them know that they were wrong and they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Listen.
Yahushua said unto them,
you do not knowing
the scriptures, nor the power of
that man said, you don't know the book. This is what he told him. He told him, you wrong and you don't know the book. Don't you know it's some people that tell you that's not godly if you told somebody that? That man told him you wrong, you don't know the book, and you don't know the power of Elohim. You know what he effectively told them? Shut your mouth. Go ahead, man.
For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage,
but are as
the Malakim of Elohim is showing.
And you got dudes around here talking about you gonna be hunching. What type of man in the state of being as an angel ahead? And people tell you, nah, that's how you know them wasn't no angels in Genesis 6, man. Ain't no angel trying to get no coochie, man. That's your perverted behind. You really want an angel to be like you because you lustful. He look at the yams on her. That angel ain't thinking about no woman, boy. That's you. You freaky. Nigga want to be dwelling with God, worrying about getting some yams. What's wrong with you, boy? The living God with you, and you worrying about some vagina. This what you look at. You got vagina right now. You ain't got the living God. And you really think you're going to be defiling yourself in this fast? You think you're going to be emanating bodily fluids around the living God, boy? You was a special type of stupid. Go ahead, man.
But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by Elohim?
I am
the Elohim of Abraham,
the Elohim
of Isaac,
the Elohim
of Jacob.
Elohim is not
the Elohim of the dead, but of the living.
Now we read that earlier, did we not? Now why is this important when he said, you as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read? Because remember, in that Exodus 3, when he made this statement, was Abraham alive? Was Jacob alive? Was Isaac alive? But he made it an explicit reason to say that he was their God. These men were not alive, but they live. You understand? Because he is the living Elohim. And wherever he dwells, that is alive also, even though it may not be animated in the flesh. See, we don't get to that. This is a major point. See, a lot of people skip over this point of this man saying this when he telling these people this in Exodus, because that's where he getting it from. He said he's not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. But yet Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are dead. So he was letting you know in that statement in Exodus 3, he was speaking of the resurrection of the dead. Because these men aren't dead, they sleeping. Ain't that what he told them? That's why he said when you look at Dagon and all them other gods, they ain't got no life in them. He said that's a wild, horny mind. Ain't it though? What you say?
I don't see none of them other gods offering eternal life to anybody.
None of them do. They telling you got to go through the underworld.
They can all be destroyed.
You know, we'll read about Dagon, y'all willing tomorrow. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. We had about 3 hours, man. I appreciate y'all. For sure, Brother Nick. I bless y'all, the house of Elohim, in the name of Yahushua. It was good that I had that interaction with this gentleman, because taking the apostleship to wit, peace, Brother Nate, man, with the living Elohim, they go hand in hand. Because the apostles are bearing witness to the life that is in the Son, which is the life which is in the Father, because the very spirit that rose up Mashiach from the dead is going to raise you from the dead. For sure, so peace, Brother Joseph, which is why the Ezekiel 37 with the dry bones talking about that's you knowing Israel. That's why knowing you are Israelite. That's why it's erroneous instruction. That's why it's terrible, because it doesn't give the hope and the strength of what Elohim is coming to give. Because he said, can these bones live? He said, you know, he would let you know that even though these were bones with no flesh and tendons on them, they had life because he was in them. This is another example of he's not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. See, that's another aspect of Ezekiel 37. But they tell you, that's you waking up to your nationality. I wish I could get one of them bones from that valley and slap you with it. Right upside your forehead. Because you stupid. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't going to say you stupid. I'm going to say you grossly misinformed. Because if ain't, shalom, Brother Mon, man. Because if ain't nobody told you, if all you ever heard was that passage was dealing with you knowing you were Israelite, then at the end of the day, what else you going to think? You know what I'm saying? Amen. Shoot, thank you for it, man. Amen. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, man, you got to, because sometimes I'd be a little too harsh. Because in the reality, your thought process is going to be based off, blessings, my G. Your thought process is going to be based on how you talk. All jokes aside, you know, some stuff, I'd be harsh and I'd be serious, but I'd be joking at the same time, but I'm dead serious at the same time. But in reality, right, just your thought process is always going to be based on how you would talk. So if it's hammered into your head that that chapter is referring to that, then you're going to have a hard time seeing anything other than that. And if somebody says something different, oh, he tripping. Now, I want you to understand something. This is how they viewed your Savior and the apostles when they would come and preaching what they were preaching. Oh, these niggas tripping. Remember it said, Paul said, hey, man, surely I'm going to go to the Gentile, they receive it. He said, because some of the people dispute. It tell you that the people will dispute. Everybody was not sold. Don't fall for the hype that people want to tell you. Everybody was not sold on the preaching of Mashiach. Peace, Mika. Okay, shoot, for sure. Everybody wasn't sold. Some people believed it, some didn't. Some say we got to search this some more. I ended with this. He said you got to be more noble than those in Thessalonica. He said, because they search the scriptures daily to see if them things were so. You ain't supposed to sit right here every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and just be like, well, he said it. That's got to be right. I mean, I know we read through it. If you ain't sat back when we got finished and searched what you heard, then you ought to go to hell. Not because the information wrong, because you're not studious as it pertains to your own salvation. You sitting there twiddling your thumb instead of doing what this man told you to do to make sure that the word that you heard came from God. Period. There's no excuse for it, for anyone. None. I don't care if you don't think I would lie to you. That is not the point. It is inexcusable. You know what I'm talking about? Because the Lord himself told his disciples to go search it. So how you going to hold yourself to any other standard that the Lord didn't even hold the men who he talked to? He made sure they went and searched it. It's no excuse. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. Period, point blank. It is unacceptable. That deposit will be rejected at this particular financial institution. Doesn't matter. I remember telling my homeboy that years ago, he said, I knew I would, you wouldn't. It's not the fact that you know I would, because I know you know me personally. That's not the point. This your soul. It's not my soul. It's your soul. And you need to make sure I don't care who, anybody who would be offended because you went to make sure that what they taught you or said to you is what the word says. They were offended by that. They not a God. When did you ever see Yahushua get offended at them people asking him questions? He only got offended at his apostles on things that he believed they should have already known because he had showed them. That's a different interaction. Holding your men to a particular standard because you expect more from them is different. Most people are not accustomed to having somebody who you lack understanding to. I'd expect that from them, not from you. Because you with me, I'm teaching you. I expect more from you. That's a different interaction, man. You can't compare the two. Can't compare the two. It's not the same. You can't hold people to an expectation who not with you directly. Case in point, for most of you men who've been around here, I have a higher level of expectation of what I would perceive you to be able to know and understand than somebody who ain't been around here for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I'm not going to have the same expectation of Joseph as I would have for Will Stanley. They've been here damn near 10 years. I'm going to have a different level of expectation for them. I'm going to have a different level of expectation for Dwight and Lil Johnny than I would have for Jedediah or for Nate. They've been there longer. That's a different level. Now you supposed to, how you don't know that? You know what I'm talking about? Just straight up and down. Yeah, that's what that is. And that's not to diminish any level of understanding they have. That's to the point of what you ain't been here that long. More, especially in the flesh, yeah, it's going to be a high level of expectation. Anything other would be a travesty. But most people not accustomed to that. You feel like, why you got to do me like that? Not saying they do that. But I'm just saying my people, period. Because you want somebody to baby you. You know why? Because you ain't had your daddy. And your mama did that for you. So you think grown men supposed to do that for you too. Take that damn diaper off, boy, and take your thumb out your mouth. Stop crawling on the floor and get up and walk. Be a goddamn man for once in your life. That's what a lot of these dudes' problem is. Then you know the first thing they scream, man, these women won't submit. If I was a woman, I wouldn't fool with you either. I wouldn't fool with you either. Because you a buster. You think that woman supposed to fool with you just because you know some Bible verses. She look at you and say you a buster. She don't want to wake up every morning looking at a buster. Meaning, she don't want to wake up every morning dealing with a man she don't genuinely respect as a man. You know what I'm saying? She ain't looking for you to have no high level. See, most people are used to the church, so you feel like my scriptural acumen got to be on par with the pastor, or she gonna like the pastor more than she like me. See, that only happened when the pastor come through and he trying to have inappropriate dealings with these women. That's when that happened. And meaning that the pastor is a lot, because we know in Christian churches, they talk about it more often than not. It might happen in Hebrew organizations about women being enamored with the leader of the organization. In my personal opinion, that only happens if the leader is oblivious to it or he fosters it, whether knowingly or unknowingly, which causes a lot of strife and contention and pressure on the men to think that they need to move a certain type of way. Because ain't no way in the world, man, once a pastor peeped that, he supposed to nip that in the bud. Oh, hell no. Your husband over there. What's wrong with you? That doesn't mean that he don't have no... See, most of these dudes don't interact with the women in their congregations like that's their people. You know what I'm saying? That's your little sister, cousin, whatever the case may be. You're not dealing with them, daughter. You're not dealing with them like you would deal with your people. Because see, if you was a real... If your sister's married, like I'm talking about your blood sister, you're going to tell her, hey, I hear what you're talking about. Man, you need to go holler at your husband. I don't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? See, if you one of them dudes, your sister come tell you anything, and then you be like, now you around here got an issue with this dude, you want to step into the seat, you out of pocket. You out of pocket, because you know the first thing you supposed to say, yeah, I hear what you're talking about. Go get him and tell me this. Because if you're not going to go get him and tell me this, I don't want to hear this. Because I don't want nothing to do with what y'all got going on. That ain't none of my business. That's not my house. I'm not getting involved in what you got going on. You his wife. You my sister, but you his wife. That means he trumped me in your life. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm not getting involved with that. I can give you some advice, but you ain't finna come around me talking about this man, this, that, there, and the third, or I'm allow you to look at me and you trying to compare him to me and all this. Nah, man. Nah, I'm gonna kick you dead in your forehead. You married him, you deal with it. I don't want to do, but you know, people fall into that. I'm not falling into that. You ain't finna bring me into that folly. That's how dudes get caught up, crossed up in people's lives like that, and people be having issue with the pastor. They think the pastor trying to break up people's households and all this other stuff because you ain't know how to function. Man, that's not my business. What y'all got going on in y'all marital relate, that's not my business. That is not my business. I don't want to know about it. Meaning, I'm not going to seek to find out that information. I'm not desirous to know about that information. If you got issues that y'all can't handle, yeah, you can come holler at me, man. But look, I got my own wife and my own thing going on to be worrying about what a nigga doing with his old lady. Do you know how miserable of a man you got to be worrying about what another man doing with his woman? Why do you even care? Because unless he beating her up, why do you care? And when I say beating up, that means either physically, mentally, or emotionally. And that means if you know he doing that, somebody need to go check this nigga. And if he putting his hands on you, you need to be telling her, nigga, why do you still live there? Why do you still live there? This man punched you in the face and you stayed? What's wrong with you? Well, he didn't really mean it. I think he did. You don't accidentally punch people. That's not what happens. You might accidentally punch somebody if you shadow boxing in the room and they happen to walk in. But how many people shadow box? None. So if that man punched you, he meant to do that. Why did you stay? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to get you to understand in your brain that if this man put his hands on you, he clearly don't love you. Why are you still there? Why have you not departed? Why are you allowing this to happen in your life? Why are you trying to convince yourself that God sent this man to beat you up? Because I'm dead serious though. Because some people in these situations, especially if they in congregations and work, they'll try to justify it and make themselves believe, well, this is God. It's not God's will for this man to beat you up. It's not. It's not God's will for this man to call you a female dog, a whore, anything of the sort. Just like it's not God. If he told you as a man, it's better for you to dwell on the rooftop than in the house with a contentious woman, baby, you got to have enough sense to know God telling you it's better for you to dwell in the wilderness than dwell in the house with a nigga beating you up. If he telling a man it's better for him to dwell on his roof than to be in a house with a woman that want to fight all the time, baby, you got to know God gonna tell you it's better for you to get the hell out of there than let this nigga beat you up. You need to go. Because there's a lot of things in him. God definitely not. I'm talking about the living one. I'm talking about Yahushua. I'm talking about, yeah, he ain't in him. Because I promise to you, the only way God will punch you in your face is if you sin before heaven. And he still might not punch you in your face then. He might give you some grace. A little long suffering. Some people, he punch them first go around. I'm going to punch this nigga in his mouth. Some of these niggas need to be punched in their mouth. Y'all think I'm playing. I ain't trying to be funny. But don't let that nigga sit around there and beat you up. Now, I don't know. I know ain't none of y'all getting beat up. I hope not. Maybe you. I'm going to suplex you. That ain't technically beating you up. That's just performing wrestling maneuvers at an opportune time to cause a significant amount of pain. You know what I'm talking about? But all jokes aside, though, there's certain stuff. Same way, man, you ain't supposed to be sitting in the house, man, and women calling you all type of F niggas and telling you how terrible you is and you a horrible man and all this type of stuff. And you sitting there like, she just crazy. Nah, she ain't crazy. You crazy. You hand me that, please? Thank you. You got people who all in the word and be dealing with people like that. And you know what people first cap is? We all growing. Nah, you ain't growing, you beat me up. Let me tell you that right now. You ain't growing and you cussing me out. You got problems. And I don't want them problems. Love yourself, man. I promise to you, man. God love you better than for you to stay around there and getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he love you better than that. You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself. But again, I appreciate y'all. I bless you out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Yahuwah willing, we'll be back at it on tomorrow. Just keep the concept of the living God in your brain, because we got multiple different ways to go about that. We'll get to some of these other guys in Egypt and Exodus. Incorporate the apostleship, because we had it in the law dealing with Moses since we in Exodus. Thank you, who was Mama Steph. Shalom. And kind of make all these things come together and make sense if the Lord allow. And yeah, y'all will until the end, man. We'll come back tomorrow afternoon if the Lord permit and do it again. Because Doris in here about to fall asleep and she can't sleep here. No, you don't. 'Cause I sleep in there.